Tires, brakes, belts, mufflers, transmissions, and even engine repair.
Come on into Richlands and put our expert service to the test.
And while you're relaxing, enjoy our comfort services too. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands, your
due for service.
Since 1964, we've changed your tires and so much more. Richlands Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richlands.
Basketball season is almost here, so get ready to fear the deer.
Lillard gonna fire away. Three-pointer, yeah, baby.
Our Bucks preseason coverage in Oklahoma City against the Thunder starts tonight at 6 with Bucks Shoot Around. We are your home of the Milwaukee Bucks on News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's just before 12 o'clock and 57 degrees, mostly sunny and beautiful. High temperature of 60 today in your Storm Team forecast. Partly cloudy, low temp down to 45 tonight. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Vince Vitrano. A shakeup in the UW system, the universities of Wisconsin ending in-person instruction at 2 campuses and closing down another campus.
UW President Jay Rothman made the announcement this morning.
We are closing the UW Platteville Richland campus and ending in-person instruction at UW Milwaukee at Washington County and at UW Oshkosh at Fond du Lac County.
In all, Rothman says about 500 students will be affected. He says the decision was made not because of money, but rather because students were trending toward degrees at their 4-year campuses or online. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Meanwhile, Assembly Speaker Robin Vos says the legislature will withhold pay raises for UW employees until the school system cuts its so-called Department of Equity and Inclusion spending by more than $30 million. In the legislature today, the Assembly expected to take up the latest American Family Field funding proposal. TMJ4's Sydney Orr looking ahead.
The latest version of the bill actually reduces the amount of money required by local taxpayers, and the Assembly bill that was just updated Thursday cuts Milwaukee County's contributions in half to match what the city of Milwaukee would pay. That amount is $2.5 million a year for the next 27 years.
Governor Tony Evers, Milwaukee County Executive David Crawley, and Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson have all signaled their support for this latest proposal. Just after 8 p.m. in Israel, more airstrikes on Gaza, ground attack imminent, and President Joe Biden headed there for meetings tomorrow. ABC's Ines de la Cotera reports progress on evacuating Americans from Israel.
The first ships that departed had the capacity to carry about 2,000 Americans. We know 159 touched down in Cyprus. There were images of them leaving the boat. They are going to then have to find their own way back to America. But the fact that it was just 159, I think, goes to show it's probably good news. That means that, while the boats had a capacity to carry 2,000 people, just 159 on board.
Happening right now in Congress in Washington, nominating speeches for Republican of Ohio, Congressman Jim Jordan for Speaker of the House. Unclear whether Congressman Jordan has the votes to win election to the post following the ouster of former Speaker Kevin McCarthy.
I think it's going to be more than one round, probably maybe more than 5 rounds. But I hope we really do unite today because there's so many pressing issues in the world, and we have to get back to work.
Republican of New York, Congresswoman Nicole Maliotakis, again, nominating speeches underway right now on the House floor. And some breaking local news. Maybe you've seen the picture circulating everywhere. George the dog has been found safe. Milwaukee police not offering additional details at this hour, but this is the dog that was stolen during an armed carjacking at Oakland and North on Sunday. The car was found just a couple hours later, but the dog, George, who'd been in the back seat, was nowhere to be found. Again, George the dog, according to Milwaukee police, has been found safe. Time for news about your money. WTMJ Annex Wealth Management market update. Dow Jones Industrial Average up about 64 points to 34,048. The S&P 500 sitting at 4382. That's up about 9 points on the day. And the NASDAQ up as well, just about 11 points to 13,578. Time for the Annex Wealth Management Tax Smart Planning Review. They'll review, assess, and provide strategies you can use. Go to annexwealth.com/taxsmart. Sports, traffic, weather are next. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 12:03.
AccuRite Tax and Financial Services has Toshiba copiers and network printers from James Imaging Systems. President CEO Jason Rose.
We have 17 different tax preparers on staff, and we have 4 printers running pretty much nonstop. And during tax season, it's absolutely crazy.
And Jason, those printers from James Imaging Systems have to work just as hard and reliably as your people do.
Oh yeah, yes. Something comes up that's an issue, we have somebody that we can call that can help us resolve the issue very quickly and efficiently.
Reliable printing, reliable service. That's a good thing.
That is a good thing. That helps tremendously keep us being productive, keeps those tax returns going.
Jason, bottom line for your practice?
Happy clients, happy workers, happy me.
Don't worry, be happy with document imaging technology and extraordinary local support from James Imaging Systems. Call 262-781-7700. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
For WTMJ contest rules, visit WTMJ.com/contests.
Hi, John McGivern here. Did you know Network Health Medicare Advantage plans start at $0 a month? And you can get the extra benefits you need, like dental, vision, over-the-counter items, and more? I know because I'm a member myself. Call 833-7-NETWORK to learn more today. Network Health Medicare Advantage plans include PPO plans with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Network Health Medicare Advantage plans depends on contract renewal.
Home is where the heart is. Family meals, laughter, and warm memories. As your local contractor that's been around for 40 years, J&J Contractors has been helping families create new memories for generations to come by reimagining your kitchen space for baking holiday cookies with the family or opening up your lower level for friend and neighbor entertainment. Whatever the project is, J&J Contractors does it with top-of-the-line craftsmanship. Just Google J&J Contractors to see their reviews for impeccable work and outstanding communication.
Time for the WTMJ Sports Update.
The Milwaukee Bucks are back in preseason action tonight after beating the Lakers in LA on Sunday. Giannis and the Bucks will be in Oklahoma City tonight to take on the Thunder. Coverage of tonight's game will begin right here on WTMJ beginning at 6 p.m. The Packers hit the practice field on Monday for the first time following their bye week and got some good news. Running back Aaron Jones, who missed the Week 5 matchup in Las Vegas with the hamstring injury, he returned to the field as a full participant. And lastly, over to Major League Baseball, where the Texas Rangers take a 2-0 lead after winning Game 2 by a final score of 5-4 in Houston. And the Philadelphia Phillies taking Game 1 of the NLCS over the Arizona Diamondbacks by a final score of 5-3. I'm Brandon Snide, WTMJ Sports.
Taking a look at the roads, the Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic Report. I got the right shoulder blocked 4145 northbound in Germantown. Just before you hit Holy Hill Road, doesn't look like it's slowing down any traffic, and no other major issues on the system.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Social Security benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Unable to work due to health problems? Let Tayback help you get approved for the Social Security benefits you're entitled to. Call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
A return to the 60s in the Storm Team forecast from Chief Meteorologist Brian Iznansky. Mostly sunny and a high of 60 degrees today. Partly cloudy tonight, low temperature down to 45. Wednesday's high 64 under increasing clouds with a chance for scattered showers late in the day. Thursday, mostly cloudy with showers likely and a high of 60. For Friday, partly cloudy and breezy, high of 57. And Saturday's high just 54 degrees with a chance of showers early. Right now in Madison, 53, 50 in Green Bay, Waukesha at 52, and in Milwaukee, 57 degrees. I'm Vince Vitrano, Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 12:07.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue, it's the Jeff Wagner Show. Come join the conversation on the Old National Bank talk and text line at 855-616-1620. Old National Bank. Now in for Jeff, here is Brian Noonan.
Well, good afternoon. It is good to be with you today. In for Jeff Wagner. It is October 17th, or 1017, or 1017. A lot of different numbers, but most importantly, it is Truth Day. You remember back in June, on June 20th, we had WTMJ Day. Today is Truth Day. Our sister station, 1017, The Truth, right down the hall. Tori Lowe is in with me. He hosts the Tori Lowe Show from 1 to 4 on The Truth. Tori, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, Brian, for having me on the show.
This is exciting. Happy Truth Day.
Happy Truth Day to everybody out there, 1017 The Truth.
So let me ask you, because I don't know your history. How did you come to be part of the Truth family?
Well, I'm an activist, first of all. I'm out here in the community dealing with a lot of different situations, and I got a call from Kyle Wallace and Cherie Harris. Cherie Harris is the general manager. Kyle Wallace is also a part of creating the content team. Right. And they asked me, hey, Tori, do you want to be a part of the Truth? We're starting the Truth. And I just thought it was a joke. I didn't think it was serious, And then when I came into the East, when we were back on the East side, into the studios, and I was like, okay, this is real.
Yeah, it's a real deal.
And from there, the rest is history.
That's excellent. Well, then, with your background, this was a story that I was going to talk about, and I was really glad that you were coming in and told Sam that you would talk about it too. This Jakari Robinson case is heartbreaking on a number of levels. Anytime a child is put in that position, and then, for all intents and purposes, murdered, it's horrifying. But what I'm finding as I read more about it and follow it along, and now that the father has been charged, but he's still on the run. Yeah, we don't know where he is. This kid seems to have fallen through the cracks, and so yes, we have a villain. His father is definitely responsible for this, but there's other levels of responsibility that I think as we go on have to be addressed. From why didn't anybody else in the family say something? This is Jakari Robinson has a lot of siblings.
Right.
He had 2 teenage sisters or half sisters that were there that have said now in hindsight, oh yeah, that our dad used to be really hard on him. He would punish him by not feeding him and da-da-da. And I don't blame the sisters, but didn't they tell any adult? I'm not saying they should have gone to the authorities, but you tell somebody, don't you?
From the report, they found him on the floor.
Yeah.
So when you talk about family, that's supposed to be your structure, the people, your immediate protectors, to me, this is story. I got more questions about this story than actual answers that I'm being provided. Once again, the father is the suspect. He's on the run, but at the same time, did the system fail this kid?
Yes.
I mean, like you said, he had other siblings, things like that. Who was coming in and out of the house? Why? Obviously, his final spot was on the floor. Yeah. So was there several days that went by and he was just laying on the floor?
Well, they noticed in August that he had lost a lot of weight, that he was unresponsive, and it's if he had been enrolled in school, then you say, well, teachers are mandatory reporters, but he was being homeschooled, which there's very little oversight for homeschooling. People don't come in and check that, if you don't show up, Tori, for a week at school, somebody's going to your house to find out.
My children are homeschooled, so I know all about homeschool.
Yeah, right.
But like I said, children eat all the time.
Yes, they do.
I got to tell my son to get out the refrigerator all the time. So when he's not being his normal self, I ask him a question like, what's wrong with you? Even though I don't want him running in and out and leaving the refrigerator open and things like that.
Sure.
If he was just sitting in the spot all day or just not being himself, I'm going to question what's wrong with him, right?
Right. And
so where's the question from the father in this situation?
I think the father didn't want to ask the question. The father was the one keeping him, according to the sisters again, they said that was a punishment that the father used, was not letting him eat.
And this is where I say this is where the neglect comes in. And I'll tell you this, this is, to me, disgusting to actually see a child in the city of Milwaukee. He didn't die from violence.
Right.
He died from being malnourished.
Yes. And being abused by the people who, as you said earlier, were supposed to be his structure, were supposed to be the ones. I have a daughter as well. With your kids, you're the person they look up to protect them
and to look out for them. And he definitely didn't have this. Just breaks my heart. And my prayers go out to Jakari's family. being affected by this, his friends and people in the community that are scratching their heads on how could this even have taken place. Many times when we talk about the youth in Milwaukee and we talk about all the different things that are going on, and particularly on the north side, this story I just hear this story of a young child that didn't even have a fighting chance to achieve in this world. And it's just disappointing.
Let me ask you this. Is it because I immediately, asked you right away, how come other people didn't say anything?
Right.
Is it one of those things where you don't want to talk about somebody else's children or how they're raising their children? You want to you kind of mind your own business? Because, I would hope that if, God forbid, I saw this happening to one of my neighbors, I would say something.
Well, I don't know if they were able to have access into the home because there was a witness that said the father had cancer and they went over to, spend some time, but he was being very evasive.
Okay.
So he already knew what took place, and he didn't want anybody in the home.
Well, yeah.
And you're thinking that, okay, logically, the kid is in the house probably playing video games or, doing what kids do.
Yeah.
But I think he already knew what he had done. And I think that he was trying to keep people from actually coming into the residence.
I think once he is apprehended and, because as you said, there's charges filed.
Right.
He's a wanted man. Roman Moyne is his name, or Romuald Moyne is the father's name. His picture's in the Journal-Sentinel today. They said they published it because he is still on the run. I think the conditions that poor Jakari was subjected to are going to be a lot more than just him sitting around the house,
right?
Not going to school.
Well, definitely
not doing stuff.
The autopsy report says the 12-year-old had a broken right leg, and his collarbone formed was healing. They saying that it was a large irregular fracture from this collarbone. So the thing is, he was being abused as well.
Yes, 100%. And it's, I don't know. I don't understand that kind of thinking. I don't think 99% of us can understand that kind of thinking. I hope as more details come out, as horrible as they're going to be, that we can find out where the cracks were that Jakari fell through and hopefully do something to try to prevent this from happening down the road. Because the fact that he was partially decomposed when they found him, I mean, we all know the horrible details, and I'm not trying to be shocking. It's just, I don't think most of us can wrap our mind around that kind of cruelty to anybody, let alone a child.
It's to me that, the community, to me, right now, this is what you call a teachable moment for the community to always be aware, not only of our children, but the other children in the neighborhood. And we got to work hard to get out and know the neighbors. And back in the day when I was coming up, we knew everybody.
Sure.
We knew who wasn't coming outside.
All playing outside.
Yeah, we were all playing outside, kickball, things like that. But with these tablets now, you don't get to see that.
Right.
Kids playing outside. And with the public safety issues a lot of these communities face, a lot of parents are afraid to allow their children to just play outside.
Right, because the parents are working, so the kids come home after school. They, play in the house or keep yourself busy in the house because there used to be at least a few adults on the block who were watching when the kids came home from school and were playing, and now everybody has to work.
And in 2023, that's not going on. So I don't really know what could have happened for somebody to take note that something was going on in 2023. But I think that we got to get back to those old principles of just not living in our homes, but also getting to know the people in the community, do more community events outside. And many times that'll allow us to gain an advantage if a family needs resources, if people need help.
Well, the most basic, to answer your question, I think the most basic, how did nobody in his family at least go, hey, have you seen Jakari in months? And I mean, that's the first question. I mean, his mom hadn't seen him in ages.
They said since Labor Day.
Yeah.
That they haven't seen him since Labor Day.
Right. So right there you got, that's the first question. Why, I guess, again, thinking logically, how did you not know where your son was?
Well, I'll tell you this. I got to talk to Tex on my show from somebody close to the family, and the mom and dad had, differences.
Sure.
And he ended up with the dad somehow, and then, she had multiple children, but he ended up on the dad's side of the fence.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the communication with the mom and the dad being maybe not there, that she may have lost some type of communication with her son.
Well, it is a horrible story, and unfortunately, we're going to get more details. But Tori, I appreciate you coming in. You've got to be on the air pretty soon,
right?
Tori
at 1
Lowe,
o'clock.
host at 1 to 4 on The Truth. Happy Truth Day!
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you for joining me. I'll talk to you soon.
Hey, I'll talk to you soon.
Take care.
There's no better green and gold insider than from the man who wore the green and gold himself, Bart Tauscher.
The thing you hear all through training camp, if you're an undrafted free agent or a late pick, is, hey, you're trying out for our team, but you're also putting film up there for the other 31.
Bart Tauscher is our green and gold insider every Wednesday at 4:15 on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
I like his moxie. You know what? We're going to keep him on the 53.
Presented by your Wisconsin Chevy dealers.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Steve and Ashley heard our radio ads over the years, and when it came time to buy their first home, clicked on the blue button back in June. Senior loan consultant Brad Kramer issued a credit-verified pre-approval the same day and then upgraded to a rock-solid, fully verified and guaranteed pre-approval shortly thereafter. Well, they made a couple offers without success, and then Brad told them about our brand new property-specific pre-approval letter where we might be able to include those magic words, no appraisal required. When they wrote their next offer at $30,000 over asking to make sure someone else didn't end up sleeping in their dream home, their updated rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval included the phrase that pays in the eyes and ears of the seller, and that translated to donedeal.com. If you think all mortgage companies and pre-approvals are the same, think again. Go with the local mortgage lender that has the tools and the know-how to help you win and save you money, too. Click on the blue button today at accunet.com.
Hey, the future of joint pain relief is right here in Milwaukee. It's QC Kinetics, Advanced Regenerative Medicine, and it's amazing. Hey, it's Greg Matzik. If you've been told more steroids or surgery are your only options, don't be so fast. Get a second opinion and learn more about how you can harness your own body's healing agents to attack that joint pain. I'm talking lasting relief. QC Kinetics doesn't mask the pain. These treatments go to the very root of the problem, using concentrated healing properties placed directly in your joint to restore and repair that damaged tissue. Imagine living your life this fall with no more pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulder, or your back, with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. Hey, life is all about motion, and QC Kinetics is giving people their lives back with these all-natural treatments. Call the local medical professionals and get a free consultation today. QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. Call 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Again, 414-285-3474.
It's Brian Noonan in for Jeff Wagner, 855-616-1620. That is the Old National Bank talk and text line. Old National Bank, get old. We were talking about this Jakari Robinson tragic case. Somebody, I think, misunderstood when Tori said that Jakari's death was not from violence. I think in normal conversation, when we say a death is caused by violence, we're talking about gun violence. There is no question that this boy died a horrible, violent, prolonged death. And it is, I'm going to be honest, I've got no sympathy. There's nothing this father can say that would, even in the farthest reaches, have any sort of explanation or excuse for this. There is going to be no punishment that is too harsh, too violent, too bad for this guy. I understand we're innocent until proven guilty. He was in this guy's custody. The guy is on the run. Right now, everything is saying guilty to me. And I don't know if I'm different than you, but a crime like this, against an adult would be horrifying. And I would feel the same sort of outrage and need for punishment. But when it comes to a child, there is nothing that I can imagine that would be too hard for him, too bad for a punishment. And I know that's sort of medieval thinking. And, we try to not be compassionate, but we try to, in this day and age, we look at things, we go, well, is there mental illness because that's a real thing? Is there this or that? Well, in this case, I don't care. You keep all your excuses. So if you have any information about this guy, Romuald J. Moy, his picture is in the Journal-Sentinel today, and they said even though he has been charged, he has not been arrested because he's on the run, and so they published the picture to help the public try to find him. I know that nobody wants to be seen as a snitch, but if you have any information on this guy, you got to get on it because it is. I don't know. There's nothing else really we could say about it. More details will come out, and we will be just as horrified with those details as we have been with the details around this. And yes, I know this is not the first time there has been a horrible act perpetrated on a child. It won't be the last time. That my rage is the same on all of these. It always amazes me, and I do still say that we have to, as things go on, you have to lay additional blame. That doesn't, when I say that, it doesn't mean we take any of the blame away from the father, allegedly. I got to say that because, I know Jeff's a lawyer and that's the legal thing to say. But there is additional blame to go around because I don't care how separate you are, if parents are divorced or separated or not going on, if a child's siblings or a child's parent hasn't seen that child in months or heard from that child in months, how do you not get on the phone? How do you not get in a car and drive over? How do you not send one of the siblings over? Okay, mom and dad don't get along. They can't be in the same room. Okay, send one of the siblings. To get statements now from family members who are like, yeah, we kind of noticed he was losing weight and we hadn't seen him in a while. I'm sorry. That's inexcusable. And that guilt is something they will have to live with. I don't, since I'm not an attorney, I don't know where the legalities of any sort of potential punishment could be for them, but I can't imagine the guilt, and I have no sympathy for the guilt they're going to have to feel. None at all. Because they did this to themselves, and most importantly, they did it to Jakari. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, the president is heading to Israel. What do you think is going to get accomplished? That is my question to you. 855-616-1620 is the Old National Bank talk and text line. Old National Bank, get old. It's Brian Noonan in for Jeff on WTMJ.
WTMJ Now with Steve and Sandy.
The hyper-partisanship in this country will kill us. It will absolutely kill us.
And that's what's awful about war. It isn't just the people who are mad at each other fighting. This is involving people who just are living awful, horrific, non-stop barrage of bombing and violence.
Oh, don't get me started on IKEA. I love IKEA.
No.
I love IKEA.
Oh, I thought you were going to have a wrestling match with a chair or something.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 620 WTMJ.
Leave low yields in the dust and never look back. Rev up your return on investment with Syngenta. Our innovative portfolio of crop protection products outperforms and out-yields any deal, giving you higher yield and profit potential at the finish line. Syngenta, where better yield is the better deal. Always read and follow label instructions.
All right, let's see here. Acuron corn herbicide. Powerful weed control? Check. Long-lasting residual? Check. Proven crop safety? Check. Acuron checks all the boxes, which is why it outperforms and out-yields all other corn herbicides by 5 to 15 bushels an acre. Talk to your local Syngenta retailer or visit findmorebushels.com to discover your revenue potential today. Always read and follow label instructions. Acuron is a restricted use pesticide.
What's the way to build your wealth?
While going over a new client's statements from one of the big financial firms, I was floored when I read that firm does not offer tax or estate planning advice. Because we know that saving money for our clients on their taxes, legally and well within the law, can make a huge difference in their financial plan. If you want to wisely build your wealth, it is my firm opinion that without a comprehensive approach, you're going to be at a big disadvantage. At Financial Strategies, Inc., we're taking a deep dive and creating comprehensive strategies that develop your retirement, investment, and your tax and estate planning. And all under a fee-only structure that means the success we care about most is yours. I'm Jim Cantrell, and I believe we can show you a wiser way to build your wealth. So go to FinancialStrategiesInc.com and schedule a no-cost consultation.
Financial strategies, a wiser way to build your wealth.
Boy, the rejoin music on Jeff Wagner's show is fantastic. Right in my wheelhouse. It's Brian Noonan in for Jeff. President Biden heading to Israel tomorrow in a historic wartime visit. What do you think will be accomplished by this visit? Do you think the president will be able to convince Netanyahu about certain things? 855-616-1620 is the old National Bank talking text line. All right. I don't know what could be accomplished. I think this is a good move. It seems to be getting support from both sides of the aisle. Not by everybody, but by some, because, you know, this is with Israel being one of our biggest allies and our strongest ally in the Middle East, you gotta get over there. Now, the president historically hates Zoom calls. He thinks, that you have to be in a room, face-to-face, to get things done. And so that's why he's decided to go over there. Now, one of the things that Israel had to commit to is that they are going to open Gaza to humanitarian aid before the president gets there. So hopefully by today that will be happening. And because there's a lot of people in Palestine who had nothing to do with this, and those people need to get some humanitarian aid. The reports today that they were having to drink salt water, and there's nowhere to go. That's unconscionable. So I'm glad that the president put those parameters on his meeting. They tried to get Israel to stipulate that that they would not start the invasion of Gaza while the president is in the region. Now, it's no secret. Israel said they're going to invade Gaza. They haven't really said that they wouldn't invade, but we hope we won't, because the president is traveling all over the region. He's going to be talking to Palestinians. He's going to be talking to Egyptians. He's going to be there talking to pretty much everybody. But we'll see. I hope nothing happens while he's there. But the 414 says, what will be accomplished? Nothing except a photo op. I have a feeling that sentiment is going to be echoed by a lot of people. I don't know what the president can do. Now, people are saying, well, is he going to ask Netanyahu for a ceasefire? Ceasefire has not been used in any language up to this point. When the White House and ambassadors have talked to the Israelis, there has been no talk of ceasefire. I think that would be premature at this point, when you have Israel in a heightened state of anger, seeking revenge. You've got to try to calm people down, and I don't know how you do that. I don't think it's possible to calm people down in this circumstance, but he's going over there. National Security spokesman John Kirby said that the president is going to arrive in Israel focused on the critical need for humanitarian assistance to get into Gaza, as well as the ability for innocent people to get out. Because as horrible, like I said, as horrible as things are in Israel, they are as horrible in Gaza. So we will see. Another couple more texts coming in. What will be accomplished? The 920 says, I think it's idiotic and clearly not that safe. No, it is definitely not safe. From another 920 number, he's only there to get his picture taken. Then he's going to have a hard time finding his way off the stage, just like always. Well, we will see if that is the case. All right, if you want to chime in and get your opinions known. 855-616-1620. What do you think is going to be accomplished as the president heads to Israel ahead of meeting with Netanyahu and Egypt and Gaza and everybody else to try to at least get some of the civilians out of the way and allow people in Gaza to get out before there's any more bombing from Israel? All right, we are going to do this, and then there's more. It's Brian in for Jeff, WTMJ.
When big national banks make a decision, it requires many emails, phone calls, and plenty of video conferences from around the globe. When we make a banking decision, we do it over a cup of coffee in our office. Finding a local bank that's passionate about the community and knows your name is hard to find these days.
Good morning, Diane. Welcome back.
The search is over.
Waterstone Bank, proud to be your local bank for over 100 years. Love your bank as much as we love this community. Waterstone Bank, Waukesha, Milwaukee, and Washington County.
Member FDIC.
You're gonna love it all when you shop at St. Vincent de Paul. Old things, new things here for you. We're always changing, we're always new. So many friendly people, smiles from wall to wall. You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul. You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
R&R Insurance does an exceptional job of providing employee benefits to all of us here at Good Karma Brands. Companies are starting to plan for fall enrollment for their workforce. Here's Jeff Salasinski, VP of Insurance Operations at R&R Insurance.
Thanks, Vince. A benefit understood is a benefit appreciated. Knowing how to best communicate your benefits will help your employees understand their options, guide their decision-making, and increase their sense of value and engagement. In this tight labor market, businesses need to know how to use their benefit program to attract and retain employees.
So, Jeff, what's the solution?
At R&R Insurance, we help employers brand their benefit packages in a customized, easy-to-understand fashion, taking out the complex and confusing nature of shopping for health insurance. With our latest mobile technology, your employees will have easy, immediate access to benefit information for themselves and their families 24/7. At R&R Insurance, we know employee benefits.
That's Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff.
Brian Noonan in for Jeff Wagner. We're talking about President Biden heading to Israel to talk to Israeli officials and Netanyahu about allowing humanitarian aid into Gaza. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken is in Tel Aviv. He has been holding marathon meetings with Israeli officials, trying to get this set up, trying to get humanitarian aid into Gaza, trying to let citizens of Gaza get out in advance of what Israel has said will be an invasion of Gaza as payback for last week's terror attacks. I'm wondering what you think is going to be accomplished, if anything, with the president's visit. 855-616-1620, the Old National Bank talk and text line. Vincent is in Lannon. Hi, Vincent.
Good afternoon, Brian. It's very important that President Biden goes to Israel. The fact is, with this horrible attack from Hamas, the fact is that Americans were killed.
Correct.
The fact is that Americans are possibly hostages in the Gaza. And the fact is that also Americans trying to evacuate from Israel. So to go there to support those Americans the best way he can, and as well as supporting Israel. And so, yes, it's just not a photo op. Americans are involved in this.
Correct. And Vincent, I appreciate the call. Yeah, the president, you can't say to people, we're 100% behind Israel. We have Israel's back. Israel is our strongest ally in the Middle East. We can't say all that and then, when this happens, not go over. I think what this visit is going to do not only is to talk to Israel and try to figure out what's going on there. I think it does show an effort by the president and by the United States to say to the people of Gaza, the Palestinians who are not part of Hamas, listen, we're going to try our best to get you to safety. There's no excuse to not have humanitarian care there. The vast majority of Palestinians are not in Hamas. But Hamas is responsible for this terror attack, and Hamas is the group that has called for the extermination of all Jews. So you have to target them. You got to take them out. But it is important for us to show that we do have compassion for innocent civilians, and I think that is part of what is happening here. Chuck Schumer is there too from the 262 on U.S. Money with security personnel. He was there as part of a combined group of senators from both parties, a bipartisan group that was there when the attacks started. So it wasn't like Chuck Schumer was taking a vacation. There were Republican and Democratic senators in Israel when the attacks started. Austin says if anybody can calm this down, it's Biden. Trump would only escalate things. From the 414, he cannot stop the total demise of Hamas. Total illumination of all Hamas terrorists. How come the news media doesn't discuss how drugs are used by terrorists? Well, I don't have any story on that. Sam, you got any info on the drugs, the terrorist drug cartel? No? If we had it, we would talk about it. It's a photo op. We have people there. He'll be in the way and accomplish nothing. I don't think he's in the way. It's not like he's going to be out on the streets standing in front of tanks talking and taking selfies. The president is there to talk to high-level Israeli leaders and try to work things out. You have to go and talk to your strongest ally. I don't care who is president. If Trump was still president, I would expect him to be over there too. If we are going to say the U.S. stands with Israel, then you have to go over and talk to the leadership. And you have to insist, as the White House is doing, that the country or the area or the region that you are going to invade has a way for its people to get out. That's what has to be done. A lot of the texts are doing the thing I hate the most, whataboutism. When we're talking about one subject, but it's what about? There can be more than one issue. We can be concerned about what's going on between Israel and Palestine. We can be concerned about what's going on between Russia and Ukraine. We can be concerned about the southern border and migrants being bused to cities that are being strained. We can talk about all of those things. None of them are mutually exclusive. If we're talking about Israel now, that doesn't mean that we have to forget every domestic issue that's going on, but it also doesn't mean that our government has to ignore our allies everywhere around the globe. I know we would like to think, some of us, that we can insulate ourselves, and it's just us, and we're going to put a big dome over the U.S., and nobody gets in, nobody gets out, and we take care of ourselves. Guess what? It's not going to work. It's not how the world works. It's not how geopolitics works. There's a lot of countries, and we have to be involved. And if somebody is our ally, it is incumbent upon our president to go over there and support them. He's not moving over there. So for the people who are saying, well, he's going to get in the way. No, he's not. He's not going to move into a kibbutz. He's going over there. He's having some meetings. He's coming back. We've been trying other diplomatic routes, as I mentioned. Secretary of State Blinken is over there. That's how things are supposed to work. But we can't say the president isn't doing stuff about everything else, and he's doing this. From the 920, people who think this is a photo op have no clue how serious this is. It is very, very serious. People are saying that if the former president was in office, none of this would have happened. I wish I could live in such an absolute state of denial. That's right. Nothing else would have happened in the world if Donald Trump were still president. That's a little bit laughable, don't you think? Donald Trump had total control of Hamas. Is that right? Okay. Well, good luck. Maybe loosen a couple snaps on that red hat and let your brain breathe a little bit. But that's okay. Wow. I got a little hot there, Sam. I don't know what happened. Got just a little bit hot. It's when people live in a total state of denial, it makes me a little crazy. I'm like, listen, I I don't think anybody would have stopped this. I don't care who is president. This has been... Problems between Israel and Palestine have been going on for 75 years. They didn't stop over the last 4. It wasn't like all of a sudden in 2016, Israel and Palestine were hugging each other and they were laying on their bellies, having sleepovers, kicking their little feet up and drinking lemonade. No, it was still going on. So to say that if Donald Trump were in office, everything would have been perfect. Wow. If you could, Sam, when you're running over to Walgreens to get the stickers, if you can get me whatever it is they're drinking too, I would bring me a 12-pack because it might take that to get us through the next 2 hours. We'll see. We got to do this. Hey, you want to know another problem that President Trump probably would have solved? There's a werewolf in Wisconsin. That's right, a werewolf. There were no werewolves when Trump was in office. I'll tell you where the werewolf is. We'll find out. It's Brian Noonan in for Jeff Wagner, WTMJ.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Flimsy, feeble, flaccid. That's how you can describe most pre-approval letters these days. Heck, a lot of big banks issue pre-approval letters using soft credit pulls instead of real credit reports. Do you really want to compete in today's still low inventory market with a soft credit pull and a pre-approval that's silent on 2 of the 3 critical elements of a mortgage approval? A rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval from AccuNet not only verifies your credit with a real credit report, we also verify your income and down payment, and then issue a letter with a $2,000 guarantee to back it up. And now, AccuNet is issuing property-specific pre-approvals that often come with this sweet phrase: no appraisal required. That's right, AccuNet may be able to issue your pre-approval at or above the seller's asking price without needing an appraisal. Today's home market is still a metaphorical knife fight. Your bank is offering you, well, a pocket knife. AccuNet is Crocodile Dundee. Now that's a knife, mate. Click on the blue button today at accunet.com.
Hi, this is Wayne Larrabee, the voice of Green Bay football. You know, fans count on me to make the right call every time, and I can continue to do that thanks to Summit Eye Care of Wisconsin. When my vision began to drift, my eye doctor said Summit Eye Care was the best place to go. Using the latest adjustable implants, the doctors at Summit were able to fine-tune my vision. In fact, my vision is now the best it's ever been. Summit Eye Care was the right call to help me see all the action on game days.
To schedule an appointment at one of their locations, visit summitiwi.com.
Is outdoor living limited at your place? Well, imagine a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, maybe even an outdoor kitchen in your yard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is a local, family-owned company that consults, designs, and builds these things. They're the best. Let them make outdoor living unlimited in your yard like they did in ours. We are Wisconsin. We live outdoors as much as possible. Make the most of it with help from Outdoor Living Unlimited. See OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
We've changed your tires and so much more. Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement. At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have the opportunity to see our training in action and meet for yourself our happy dogs off leash and under control. Contact Sit Means Sit today at 262-361-3641 or find us on the web at sitmeansitwaukesha.com to schedule your free consultation so you can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik for Flanner's Home Entertainment. How about improving watching the team and the games this season by pulling the trigger on an upgrade to your TV and audio system from Flanner's Home Entertainment? In an age of impersonable big box stores and risky online purchases, there is still our locally owned Flanner's, where quality, service, the best brands, and guaranteed best price remain top priorities. Shop Flanner's in West Allis, Grafton, and at Flanners.com. Flanner's, sound advice at the best price. Just press play.
It's Brian Noonan in for Jeff Wagner. WTMJ, glad you're here. 855-616-1620 is the Old National Bank Talk and Text line. All right, This is scary. You know, Halloween is only a couple weeks away. I'm very excited about Halloween. I heard Steve and Carol talking about Bigfoot earlier. I saw that footage. There was a lot to debate if that was Sam. Did you think that was a Bigfoot or just a very hirsute man?
You know, they got me, but I heard that that was the Bigfoot experience that they paid for.
Oh, they paid for a Bigfoot experience?
Yes, it came out that was actually fake, and that was part of the.
See,
they paid someone to, you know.
I didn't believe it from the jump, but I did. As I was watching that video, as Zapruder filmed it, I went frame by frame to see what was going on with this alleged Bigfoot, and it was too human-like as he was walking. Plus, Bigfoot had already been sighted in Mississippi, allegedly. So from Mississippi to Colorado, first of all, Bigfoot's not getting through TSA. He's not flying from the deep south to Colorado. A walk of that length for a creature with bad posture and a big loping gait is not going to work out well. So I missed the follow-up when they said they were on a Bigfoot experience. Well, of course, then they're going to see a Bigfoot. If you pay for something, like if I went on one of those car safaris and they said, you're going to see lions and tigers and bears, first I'd say, oh my. And then I would say, I better see some of those animals. And if I got back and nothing had tried to get in my car to eat me, I would be very disappointed. And I would have to go all Karen on the people at the desk and get my money back. But if you're in Elkhorn, oh my goodness, there may be a cryptid wandering about. For those of you not in the know, myself included until I read this story, a cryptid is a mysterious and horrifying creature. They don't conform to the usual laws of nature, and there is footage like the Bigfoot, of a werewolf. That's right, you heard me. In the sleepy rural town, it is described in this story, of Elkhorn, Wisconsin. It's not a new phenomenon either. Ooh, werewolf in Elkhorn. I think that was a big song for Warren Zevon back in like 78. Residents have whispered about the creature for decades. The creature has also fascinated people who are interested in folklore and myth, as well as those who are drawn in by the supernatural and the paranormal, and the gullible and easily separated from their money. Everyone streaming to Elkhorn. Now, I got to say, this picture of the alleged werewolf looks much more convincing to me than the picture of the Bigfoot. The creature, there's been a lot of searches combing the area, some sightings, but no one has been able to prove it. But somehow there's some pictures. I don't get. Accounts by general consensus that it's half man, half wolf, standing between 6 and 7 feet tall. Its head is said to resemble that of a wolf or a feral dog. That is exactly how people have described me, especially in high school. The head of a wolf or a feral dog. It gets around by walking on its hind legs. Sometimes it lopes along on all fours. If you're a werewolf, why would you pick Elkhorn? And if you are listening from Elkhorn, please jump in and tell me if you've heard of this. Have you seen the werewolf wandering about your town? Did you see him with a Chinese menu in his hand? Was his hair perfect? Tell me all the things you have seen about the werewolf. And also tell me how many more Warren Zevon lyrics I could quote. This is very exciting. So the skin condition looks hairy but patchy. There's a possibility that this is indeed a supernatural horror stalking the town. I'm going to say that possibility is negligible at best. Yeah, I'll go with that. I don't want to discount everybody. I've already upset a number of people, and we're only 50 minutes into the program. I don't want to alienate all the werewolf believers, too, because, listen, we're going to be together for a couple more hours. I'm sure we'll find some common ground. And, somebody sent me a leak about robot wolves guarding bears. Sam, things could take a wild turn as the day goes on. We may be looking at all kinds of things. All right, so that's if you're in Elkhorn or the surrounding area, be very careful. This is what's happening as Halloween grows near. It looks, like I said, it looks more like a werewolf than the Bigfoot looked like a Bigfoot, only because Oh, all right. Thank you. The 262. It's called The Beast of Bray Road, and it's not real. All right. Listen. I agree with that, but and Jeff in Ingleside, Illinois says The Beast of Bray Road. All right. So it is a thing. Thank you, texters, for chiming in. I don't know. This one looks the arms look like dog or wolf arms. They don't have any human heft to them. I've never seen a human being with arms like skinny like a dog's arms. You know what I'm talking about? These look like animal arms. But now that we have confirmation, we must take a break and catch our breath because the thought of a werewolf is a little bit terrifying to me. It's
WTMJ's John Mercure here. Join me as we count down to the RNC in Milwaukee. We'll talk to the biggest names across the political landscape.
Senior political reporter from TMJ4 News, Charles Benson.
You got a sense of, how Milwaukee was enthusiastic about this convention.
Full podcast available on WTMJ.com or text RNC to the Old National Bank talk and text line 855-616-1620 and get a link sent directly to you. It's the countdown to the RNC podcast, only here on WTMJ. Sweetest Day is almost here. Think about how much your sweetheart means to you. WTMJ's John Mercure, I've got a great idea for you. Take the love of your life to the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club for a free dinner. Enjoy your favorite steak, ribs, seafood, pasta, even steak and lobster, and prime rib, and your second dinner is free. Even on Sweetest Day, desserts and those huge ice cream drinks, buy one, get one free. With the fall colors here, now is the time to experience the Fox and Hounds. Tucked right into the Kettle Moraine Forest, the setting is spectacular, and your second dinner is free. Sip on a delicious old-fashioned, check out a Manhattan, bourbon, or choose from over 100 fine wines. The Fox and Hounds is a Top Choice Award winner for fine dining and most romantic restaurant. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the famous Holy Hill Shrine, the colorful drive through the Kettle Moraine Forest is breathtaking. A true must-see. Reserve today. Tables fill quickly for Sweetest Day with that free dinner. FoxandHoundsRestaurant.com.
At Semper Fi, we work hard not to tarnish our reputation. And that's what will make your decision to work with us one you won't regret. You can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
Keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi. A wiser way to build your wealth.
A wiser way to build your wealth starts with choosing a financial planning firm that is fee only, because it means they work for you. Fee-only firms like Financial Strategies, Inc. don't work for a bank or brokerage firm or an insurance company or mutual fund company because we don't want our decisions for your best interest compromised in any way. We work for you and only in your best interest. And fee-only means the success we care about most is yours. Ask your advisor, are you 100% fee-only for 100% of your clients 100% of the time? If they answer no, get a second opinion. I'm Jim Cantrell with Financial Strategies, Inc., a fee-only, comprehensive financial planning firm. And I believe we can show you a wiser way to build your wealth. So go to FinancialStrategiesInc.com and schedule a no-cost consultation.
Financial Strategies, a wiser way to build your wealth.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Brian Noonan in for Jeff Wagner. My thanks to the texters. While some comments I may disagree with some of the texts that come in, but guess what? We're all human. I do disagree, but I also am very thankful because you do help me out. A lot of texts, Sam. Who would have thought that werewolf talk at the middle of the day would get such a response? This was on Expedition X last year. From the 262 back when I was in high school, it was known as the Beast of Bray Road. There is a house on Bray Road that has a life-size replica of the beast in their front yard. This texter lives in Elkhorn. Years ago, there was a national television production out there, and they were looking for it and explaining it. A number of people telling the name. There's a video about it on Amazon. Have a great day. Thank you. I will. You as well. The 920. It's real, and I've seen it. It's scratch marks in the roof of my convertible one torrid evening. Oh, my goodness. Unbelievable that the Beast of Bray Road was in a romantic entanglement. And from Mike in Whitewater, the werewolf of Bray Road is real and has been around for decades. So who would have thought? But just keep your eyes out if you're up that way, because we don't want anybody getting attacked by any of that. Let me ask you, since we're talking about creepy, scary things, let me ask you this. Does your shower or tub look like the setting of a creepy horror movie? Well, if it's dingy, is it moldy? Is it gross and out of date? Is it just plain creepy? Yuck. Then listen, you've got to sign up for the Sidex Creepiest Shower Contest. What you got to do is take a picture of your nightmare of a bathtub or shower. Upload it to our website on WTMJ.com, and you will be entered to win free tub or shower conversion and upgrade up to $10,000. And I know what you're thinking. I don't have $10,000. Well, the good news is you don't need $10,000 because this is going to be installed absolutely free with no cost to you. Here's how you do it. Text the word Sidex to the Old National Bank talk and text line, which is 855-616-1620, and upload that picture and show us how creepy your bathroom and shower space really, really is. Submissions are open until October 27th, so get entered in to finally fix up your creepy shower space. On the other side of the news, we're going to talk about the armed forces. And one thing that is really troubling the armed forces is they can't get people to enlist. So what are we going to do to get people to join the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Space Force? We'll have to talk about it on the other side of the news, which comes your way after this on WTMJ.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Pain relief and gimmicks. The two seem to go hand in hand, and it really is a shame, because when you're living with chronic pain, you're vulnerable. And that's why so many people get tricked into buying unproven treatments. At Rejuvenex, we understand how you suffer, how you wait to get out of bed because you know the pain is coming. Chronic pain from osteoarthritis is a terrible thing, and that's why we use our proprietary, powerful, FDA-approved treatments to precisely target your affected areas, to provide cushion and lubrication that helps deliver long-lasting pain relief in shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees. I'm Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Pain Clinics. We're in-network with most major insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicaid. We can alleviate your pain, and that'll rejuvenate your life. It's pain relief, really.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your appointment.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Your locally owned hometown station gives you the news and what it means to you. Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 1 o'clock, it's 58 degrees, mostly to partly cloudy, little breezy today, a high of 60, partly cloudy tonight with a low of 45. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Greg Matzik. A UW system shakeup, the universities of Wisconsin ending in-person instruction at 2 campuses and closing down another.
UW President Jay Rothman made the announcement this morning.
We are closing the UW Platteville Richland campus and ending in-person instruction at UW Milwaukee at Washington County and at UW Oshkosh at Fond du Lac County.
In all, Rothman says about 500 students will be affected. He says the decision was made not because of money, but rather because students were trending toward degrees at their 4-year campuses or online. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Meanwhile, Assembly Speaker Robin Vos says the legislature will withhold pay raises for UW employees until the school system cuts its so-called Department of Equity and Inclusion spending by more than $30 million. As lawmakers vote on whether to move the proposal forward or not, feelings among fans remain split. TMJ4's Sarah McGrew.
I don't mind it.
Matthew is a big Milwaukee sports fan. He thinks the plan is a home run.
I mean, the same way like how we kind of did with the Bucks Arena. It ended up bringing so much other stuff to our town.
Another big Milwaukee sports fan with a similar name, Matt, thinks it could lead to a strikeout.
We got to be careful about not overcommitting funds that could be used to better Milwaukee and the surrounding areas. Given the amount of money that baseball owners do have, maybe they should contribute more.
Approval today would move the legislation to the Senate for a vote later this month. President Biden will travel to Israel and Jordan on Wednesday to meet with both Israeli and Arab leadership as concerns increase that the raging Israel-Hamas war could expand into a larger regional conflict. ABC's Inez Delicatero reports progress on evacuating Americans from Israel.
The first ships that departed had the capacity to carry about 2,000 Americans. We know 159 touched down in Cyprus. There were images of them leaving the boat. They are going to then have to find their own way back to America. But the fact that it was just 159, I think, goes to show it's probably good news. That means that, while the boats had a capacity to carry 2,000 people, just 159 on board.
Republican Representative Jim Jordan of Ohio has apparently failed to garner enough votes to be elected Speaker in the first round of voting this afternoon on Capitol Hill. Republicans will most likely gather for a closed-door meeting following the vote. There have been many of those over the past few weeks. ABC's Jay O'Brien reports.
We've stood outside of repeated meetings, weeks of meetings since McCarthy was ousted, of Republicans getting together behind closed doors, and they never work out their problems. We've seen lawmakers emerge from those meetings with more problems than when they walked in with. So can the conference really get behind Jim Jordan when they get together? This is a pretty big grouping of Republicans who have said no to Jim Jordan. It's going to be hard for him to whip 10 plus and get those back into his column.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. All the indices in the red right now. The Dow currently down 72.5 points at 33,911.03. S&P 500 down about 12 points at 43.61. And the NASDAQ down about 65 points this afternoon at 30. Siding and Limited WTMJ News Time is 1:03.
This report sponsored by Mr. Holland's Heating and Air Conditioning. Visit MrHollandsHeatingandAir.com.
If you're like me, this is your favorite time of the year. The days grow shorter, the nights grow cooler. A time for falling leaves, football, hunting, and sitting around the fire with a big bowl of chili. That's what fall is all about. This crisp autumn air reminds us of the changing seasons and causes us to pause and reflect on our blessings. We're thankful for our family, friends, and the fine folks who fix our furnaces, like the incredible crew at Mr. Holland's Home Services. As heating season approaches and we click the switch on the thermostat from cool to heat, it's a good time to call Mr. Holland's and schedule a fall tune-up and safety check for your furnace. Or if you're ready to replace your older unit, we're offering up to 24 months of 0% financing. So before you carve that jack-o'-lantern and swap your flip-flops for flannel, call 866-992-1717 or visit MrHollandsHomeservices.com. If you're ready to fall into comfort, we can help.
Haul away big savings this weekend at Fleet Farm's Truckload Savings Event. Like 40-pound bags of Superior Hardwood Fuel Pellets, 2 for $11. Morton Clean and Protect Water Softener Pellets are only $5.89 a bag. Save on 40 pounds of black oil sunflower seed, just $18.99. And get a free $15 Fleet Farm gift card with select Science Diet pet food. Stock up on everything you need for everyday life at Fleet Farm.
I flew home to visit my family in Milwaukee and got all choked up in the rental car. My son's voices were on WTMJ talking about their company, Johnson & Sons Paving. There was never a doubt in my mind when I helped them write their business plan years ago. I was confident as people got to know my sons, Johnson & Sons Paving would become a huge success. Give my sons a call when you need some asphalt, concrete, seal coating, or striping done. JohnsonandSonsPaving.com.
The Milwaukee Bucks are back in preseason action tonight after beating the Lakers in LA on Sunday. Giannis and the Bucks will be in Oklahoma City tonight to take on the Thunder. Coverage of tonight's game will begin right here on WTMJ beginning at 6 p.m. The Packers hit the practice field on Monday for the first time following their bye week and got some good news. Running back Aaron Jones, who missed the Week 5 matchup in Las Vegas with the hamstring injury, he returned to the field as a full participant. And lastly, over to Major League Baseball, where the Texas Rangers take a 2-0 lead after winning Game 2 by a final score of 5-4 in Houston. And the Philadelphia Phillies taking Game 1 of the NLCS over the Arizona Diamondbacks by a final score of 5-3. I'm Brandon Snide, WTMJ Sports.
Time for a look at your roads with a Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic update. Normal times on the system with one notable exception. Southbound from Q to the Zoo. It's going to run you about 16 minutes. Backups will begin just south of Silver Spring, about Hampton Avenue, as we have some ramp closures as part of the normal construction. Otherwise, you're getting around the system just fine on this Tuesday afternoon.
Traffic is sponsored by Import Minded on South 27th Street. Get back on the road today. Get your car healthy by bringing it to Import Minded on South 27th. For all your auto repair and service needs, it's Import Minded on South 27th Street.
Mostly sunny, beautiful day today. A high of 60 degrees, low of 45 tonight under partly cloudy skies. A little warmer tomorrow. Increasing clouds, however, mild. Scattered showers later in the day with a high of 64. 59 degrees in Madison. It's 52 in Green Bay and 53 in Waukesha. 57 degrees at the Avenue. It's 107, Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time. I'm Greg Matzik.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue, it's the Jeff Wagner Show. Come join the conversation on the Old National Bank talk and text line at 855-616-1620. Old National Bank. Now in for Jeff, here is Brian Noonan.
Good afternoon. Hour 2 of the big broadcast. Glad you're with us. Keeping you updated on what's going on Capitol Hill. There has been a vote for the Speaker of the House. It did not go Jim Jordan's way. Hakeem Jeffries got 212 votes. Jim Jordan got 200 votes. There were votes for 20 other people, and nobody voted present. So it does not appear that Jim Jordan has the votes for the speakership. I don't think that is a surprise to a lot of people. I know over the weekend there were reports that Jim Jordan was, making his calls, talking to people, threatening to out Republicans who were not supporting him. It doesn't seem to have worked. Now we will keep having votes throughout the day. You remember when Kevin McCarthy finally got voted in? I think it took 17 votes to finally get him in. So we could be in for a long day. I, for one, think there's got to be a different Republican who could handle the job better than Jim Jeffries, or Jim Jordan, rather. Hakeem Jeffries, Jim Jordan. I got them all combined. But we'll keep you updated on that as we go. And if this surprises you, I'd love to hear why. I kind of, like I said, I knew he wasn't going to get the votes. All right, so I saw this story, and I want to reach out to anybody who served or anybody who has children who are 18 and above. Because despite the armed forces offering a lot of incentives for people to enlist, the only branch of government, or the only branch of the armed forces, rather, that met its recruiting goals, there were two. The Marines, but they only met it by 370-some people, and Space Force, which I still think is a joke, even though I know it's real. But when you tell me Space Force, I'm like, all right, can we really talk about the armed forces? Everybody else, the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force, are falling way below their recruiting targets. And I'll explain what they're doing to try to get people to sign up, but it doesn't seem to be working. And as my father was in the Army, I have 4 brothers. None of us joined up. I don't know. I know one guy who I went to high school with who joined the Army. I've obviously met people who've served over my life, but I didn't know anybody in my dad, my uncles, they served, and then we did not. Now, one of the things I found out as I was approaching the age of, still had to sign up for the draft, for selective service and stuff. There was no draft at that time. And I remember my dad telling my brothers that he would not want us to go to war or into the service if a draft got reinstated. But that was a different time. So the armed forces are giving out all kinds of bonuses. They've become more progressive in their enlistment requirements. They've loosened up some restrictions. They've enacted some pre-boot camp programs to try to give people an edge to lure people in. But nobody, only, as I said, for fiscal 2023, only the Marine Corps and Space Force have reached their recruiting goals. And those were by the smallest services and with the lightest recruiting burden. That's the Space Force, not the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps, as I said, squeaked by. So the Navy actually rolled out financial incentives up to $140,000 to sign up to be in the Navy. Look at Sam. She's shaking her head. You want to be a swabby? Want to hit the high seas, Sam? Maybe be a naval aviator like in Top Gun? You could be.
A lot of seasickness in my future,
okay.
I think.
Yeah, I could not be on a ship. I would get seasick too. Plus, I'm a scourge. I'm not going to lie to you. But the Army brought back Be All You Can Be. Remember the big campaign through the 80s and 90s? The Army brought that back? Nope. The Air Force is saying, all right, we're going to loosen up our tattoo and drug testing policies. I think in this day and age, they did. They came around. You can't say, well, we're not going to allow people with tattoos or if there's a trace of THC in your system. I think we would be hard-pressed to find people of active service age who don't have THC in their system, especially now that it's legal in most parts of the United States. So, the branches of the armed services are really, really trying to get you in. It is not working. So, some of the problems from the pandemic are still lingering. In the pandemic, recruiters couldn't go into high schools like they usually do. They couldn't sit down face to face with young people and say, "Hey, this might be a good career for you." I remember the big pitch years ago was going to school on the GI Bill. That's how my dad got his master's degree. He went to school on the GI Bill. I know a lot of people who went that way. That used to be a big selling point, and it still should be a big selling point for people who want to go to college. They can't really afford college, but they have skills that would benefit them in the armed services. Well, now the problems of not being able to recruit in person are still kind of hanging around. There are issues ranging from the ineligibility of many young Americans to serve, a reduced propensity to serve overall, and other barriers to service that are still exacerbating recruiting. Bob is in Waukesha. He wants to jump in on this. I want to know what you think we can do to sweeten the pot a little bit to get people to enlist in the armed forces. Hey, Bob.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good.
I don't know if sweetening the pot is the answer. I told your producer that I think in today's day and age, we're going to have to revisit conscription.
The draft.
To be perfectly clear. I got drafted out of the police academy and spent a year in Vietnam.
Okay.
And I was not bent on going to Southeast Asia.
Right.
And had I not been on a military leave of absence from the police department because they provided me an extension so that I could complete the academy, I may have stayed in the military.
Oh, really? Okay. What was it about the military? Because there's thousands of career military men and women. What was it that would have drawn you to make the military a career?
First of all of the things that you hear people complain about, I had no problem with at all. And the military is not unlike, in many instances, the civilian world. Sure. Occasionally, you're going to work for somebody that ain't as bright as you.
Sam is nodding her head. I don't know why that is. All right. So yeah, okay. So that makes sense. It is a job. So, like you said, it's a job that has some different hurdles and than some civilian jobs, but in a lot of ways the same.
And it also has perks. In the 21st century, pensions are going away.
Right.
If you can find a profession that involves a pension, and you can spend 20 years and separate from the military and still be a relatively young woman or man and then go on and do something else. I just think we are going to be forced to revisit conscription.
Well, that might be the way we have to go. Bob, thank you for the call and thank you for your service. Appreciate it. So we're going to take a quick break in a minute, and we are going to go over what each of the branches are doing. But a lot of texts coming in, and we'll get to some of those. What do you think we can do when 3 of the 5 branches of the armed forces are not meeting their recruiting goals? Bob says maybe we got to bring back the draft. What do you think about that? What are your ideas? We'll get to it in a minute. It's Brian Noonan in for Jeff Wagner, WTMJ.
Get inside the mind of Mark Tauscher.
I feel like I'm a smart person most of the time.
See the world from his perspective.
Sometimes ignorance is bliss. And in this case, I don't know if I'd say it was bliss, but I was definitely ignorant.
On Wisconsin's Morning News, every day at 7:50.
I kind of went with the attitude of don't even have your phone with you. They can't call you, and they can't cut you.
Mark Tauscher on Wisconsin's Morning News. Presented by your Wisconsin Chevy dealers. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and Kohler Services.
It's here on consignment from over 10,000 nationwide partners. From very high-end, distinctive furniture, unique antiques and original art, to tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. Premium home decor priced right at 25 to 40% off retail prices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Smart interior designers know that what they'll see here is going to be almost impossible to find anywhere else, especially at our consignment prices. Premium home decor that's gently loved and close to new. And what we carry can raise the wow factor of anyone's home decor. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here. A couple years ago, my knee was acting up. As an athlete, I've played through pain before, but it was getting to the point where I couldn't compete in the sports I loved. I decided to check out Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. It's the best decision I've made. I felt no pressure to have surgery. That was important to me. We had choices. I ultimately did choose to have a procedure. I was in and out in just hours and back in action shortly after. I recommend meeting their doctors. Visit orthowisconsin.com today.
It's spooky season, and we have monster deals at Heiser. Is your vehicle giving you a scare? Making noises like a monster's living under the hood? Or it's barely being held together like a 5,000-year-old mummy? Don't scream. Heiser has you covered. We have 5 certified service centers and 2 body shops. We're taking new clients, and we serve all makes and models, monsters included. So make sure you get treated with all that Heiser has to offer. Because at Heiser, today's your day.
See dealer for complete details.
Brian Noonan in for Jeff Wagner. 3 of the 5 branches of the armed forces are not being able to meet their recruiting goals. Experts are saying, well, this is the last year we can blame COVID for not, and every branch is doing whatever it can to get people to sign up, to serve, and they are not. And I'm wondering from you, what do you think needs to be done? From the 262, exact same thing is going on with policing right now. Everybody's lowering their standards. Law enforcement agencies are really struggling to get quality applicants. And lowering standards and changing expectations or changing requirements, I think, are 2 different things. And I agree that you can't lower expectations too much, but you have to make a change. I mentioned that, the Navy or some of these are, the Air Force. The Air Force is allowing certain tattoos now on the hands and the neck. In this day and age, you'd be hard-pressed to find a lot of people in the age group of recruitment that don't have tattoos, that don't have some THC in their system. Now, if you're going for a military physical, you probably should abstain for a couple days beforehand. I'm not preaching. I'm just saying, chill out. I'm not going to stop for a couple old fashions on my way to the doctor. I know better. I save those for after the appointment. From the 920, I retired from the Navy 10 years ago and think I know part of the problem with recruiting and retention. As society's morals have slowly declined, the Navy's morals have become more like Sunday school. People in the military aren't allowed to have crazy, questionable fun anymore. Getting into a bar fight in a foreign port used to be not that big a deal. These days, you go to captain's mast and risk getting kicked out of the military. They're saying it used to. The saying used to be "work hard, play hard." These days, it's "work hard and work some more." All right. Somebody echoing our caller Bob's sentiment from the 920. I think that if our government can't get their act together, they're going to have to reinstate the draft, and I fully support that. Yeah, this is not the government. This is the government trying to figure it out, and by the government, I mean the U.S. Armed Forces. So here's what's going on in the Air Force. They've missed their enlisted active duty recruiting goals for the first time since 1999. They only got 24,100 of the enlisted airmen of the 26,877 needed. The reserves didn't do much better, and the Air National Guards did not do much better. So they tried a variety of policy changes and new initiatives to get people to join up for the Air Force. They're offering medals and promotions for recruiting, streamlining the naturalization process so that recruits can become citizens during basic military training. They're offering reserve bonuses for prior service airmen, reinstating the enlisted college loan repayment program, allowing certain tattoos on the hands and neck, and even allowing recruits who test positive for THC to retest under a new pilot program. So that's pretty good. John wants to jump in on the conversation. Hi, John.
Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I'd like to make the point about the pay isn't keeping up the family situation.
Yeah, I've heard that.
On jobs, and it's just the military just isn't what it used to be, you know?
John, can I ask, did you serve in the military?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and so you've seen what branch, if you don't mind me asking?
Air Force.
Air Force. Okay, so you heard I just said what the Air Force is doing to try to get more recruits. Do you, as a former active duty Air Force person, what do you think of those?
Well, I think they have to keep up with, let us say, the younger generation, but lowering standards, like I heard before, you do have to have a certain mindset and a certain quality of the service person.
I understand that. I'm looking at like the two easiest ones for me to say, well, this makes sense. Are they allowing certain tattoos on the hands and the neck? And if you test positive for THC, you get a chance to retest. That you can be.
I would agree with.
Go ahead.
I would agree with both of those. But I would say that an overabundance of tattoos and stuff. Just I understand the thing about. I'm who I am and I can do the job, but there's a certain appearance standard that should be met.
And I agree. If under the uniform they're not visible, or even now they're saying, okay, well, and they didn't give specifics about what is being allowed on the hands and the neck. But while we know the military wants everybody to think the same way for obvious reasons, you can't be questioning orders. You can't be an individual. You have to be part of the unit. I think we can still have professionals and very thoughtful people and smart people who can do that, even if they have, some sort of tattoo on their hand. But John, I appreciate it. Go ahead.
I'd go back in. I'd go back in.
There you go back in. Now, when you say the pay isn't keeping up, has that always been the case? Was that the case when you were in as well? That what you were making as you were serving was not what you could have made outside in the civilian world?
That's correct.
Okay, well, that's something that has to be looked at, and that's something we forget when all the conversation about the government shutting down is those men and women aren't going to get paid, which is not acceptable. John, I appreciate the call. Thanks very much.
You're on 24 and 24.
24 on and 24 off, or 24 and 24.
Yep.
All right.
Well, it's 24 all the time. All the time. I misspoke.
24/7, 365. Thanks, John. All right. It is Brian Noonan in for Jeff Wagner. We'll get some more of your calls, more of your texts. What can the what can the armed services do to increase their recruitment? We'll go through what some of the other branches are doing. We talked about the Air Force. We'll do that after this on WTMJ.
Wisconsin's Morning News.
Things you don't want to hear from your mechanic, your doctor, or the head coach from your football team.
Listen to Vince Vitrano every weekday starting at 6 a.m.
Obviously searching for a little bit of answers right now. I think
I want to hear that.
Start the day with what you need to know.
Things like looking for answers, and I thought we did that last week, but I guess we'll try again this week.
I thought we already fixed that in the car.
Only here on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
Home and auto insurance is getting more expensive these days. Here's Jeff Salazinski, VP of Insurance Operations at R&R Insurance.
Thank you, Vince. Multiple years of inflation are making this homeowners and auto insurance market difficult for buyers. In today's market, buyers need options. Agents that can only provide a quote from one company cannot create competition for you that brings you the best price. Secondly, these same agents and their one company option are passing along huge price increases this year. Your path to a better price is through creating competition. R&R Insurance works with over 20 A-rated insurance companies. Don't settle for just one quote.
So, Jeff, what's the solution?
With 48 years of stability, local family ownership, and deep industry knowledge, R&R Insurance will be focused on you and will build a strategy to make sure your family has the right protection and a competitive price. At R&R Insurance, we know home and auto insurance.
That's Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff.
So I came to Advent because I was experiencing recurrent sinus infections. As a new mom, it was really kind of difficult.
Many of our patients complain of sinus infections. The headaches, fatigue, and nasal stuffiness have a profound effect on their lives.
I just felt like your sickness starts affecting your energy level and, the things that you really enjoy doing. That really was a breaking point for me.
So Molly came to Advent. Abnormally tight sinuses and swollen turbinates led to simple breathing triangle solutions that ended up taking about 20 minutes in office. And very soon thereafter, she was breathing freely.
I'm just in awe at the amount of air that that I'm able to breathe in and out each night, and I haven't had a sinus infection since the procedure.
I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. When you breathe well, you do live better.
Results may vary.
Brian Noonan in for Jeff Wagner, talking about the armed services and their inability to recruit, all except for the Marines, who barely squeaked by their recruiting goal. They got just over 350 recruits, so they were very low too. 351. They made their goal. That's the Marines did that. We were talking about how all the branches are making concessions to try to make enlisting in one of the armed services a little more attractive, whether it's signing bonuses, for lack of a better term, but that's what it is, whether it's relaxing some of the guidelines like the tattoos or the THC in the bloodstream. Anything to try to get people in. The Air Force, as I mentioned, trying to streamline the naturalization process so you can become a citizen while you are in boot camp. The Army is doing a pre-boot camp class. So if you have somebody who wants to join the Army, but they're struggling either with their grades or their body fat content, they're saying, hey, you could do this before you go to boot camp, and then you should be all set. Let's see. Shane is in Waukesha. He wants to make a comment. Hi, Shane. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Yeah, no, I was listening a little bit and kind of hearing what people were saying. And I spent 12 years in nursing with kids and with special needs, and I am completely covered in tattoos. I have a big beard. My hair's usually been long, and I felt – I worked corporate. I worked for Aurora for a while. I worked also, kind of smaller corporate businesses, but that has never affected my performance.
Right.
I was there to help. I was there, and I don't really feel like I was judged, by a lot of my patients, but I was definitely judged by by corporate, like, oh, he has tattoos, like he's not going to be able to follow direction, or he's, kind of a rebellious thinker.
Why are you an individual, Shane? That's insanity. Cut
right.
that out.
Yeah. And I actually wanted to join the military when I was in my teens, and I wanted to become a Ranger, and I was actually denied because I had asthma.
Okay.
And I mean, rightfully so. I mean, some of the gas, I have trouble breathing, and I talked with a recruiter about that, and it was just something that we decided probably wasn't for the best. But I mean, if they're laxing some of the, some of the restrictions there, I mean, is that something they're going to lax too? If they're not being so picky about stuff.
I don't know. It doesn't from all the branches and the reports on those. And somebody texted in about the Coast Guard. I know the Coast Guard was not included in this for some reason, but it doesn't look like medical issues are the problem because they said, there's certain candidates who are just not medically eligible. So they're not counting that as part of the problem with not being able to recruit. So that would be, I think that would be way too dangerous if they said, well, you know what, Shane? Yeah, we know you can't breathe, but come on in anyway. We know you have trouble breathing gas. We're sending you in where the gas is, but.
Yeah, I just think it's ridiculous that just based on someone's appearance that, you're judging their character based upon their appearance.
It's an old school way of thinking, definitely, from, you look back at even back Korea, World War II, even Vietnam. People who had, like now everybody's got tattoos. Tattoos are very, very mainstream. They're very accepted. They're beautiful pieces of art. But back then it was bikers and sailors coming home with a hula girl on their forearm. That was it.
Yeah.
Now,
I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and I mean, the Army is where you went, to kind of clean yourself up.
Right. Yes. That used to be a punishment.
And then they totally closed that up.
Right. Yeah. You think about that.
And then they got super strict.
Exactly. Well, Shane, I appreciate the call. I think a good calling. You couldn't be a Ranger, but you're a nurse. That's fantastic.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Take care. Let's take a quick break. Now let's talk to John. John's in Mount Pleasant. He's been hanging on. John, thanks for being patient. What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
It's good.
I'm a little split on the opinion. I think, for getting into the service, I don't think you should ever adjust any kind of, citizenship standards or, physical qualification standards. But I think more so focus on kind of the benefits that come along with, the armed services, kind of give a vision, especially to younger people, that it's not just a combat boot soldier. It's basically a world inside an army. You can be a computer analyst,
right?
A structural engineer. There's any job you could ever imagine that's within the armed services. So I think it's more so proving why it is a benefit versus just, being in the Army. It's almost like I think sometimes it's looked at as, well, that's his only option versus a future.
And that's why the Army, that's why they say they went back to the be all you can be advertising slogan, because they are pushing high-tech jobs that you can learn in the Army that will then easily transfer over to civilian life. So that's, they're hoping, just like you're saying, John, they're saying, hey, look, you join the Army, we're going to teach you how to do this, and then when you're done with the Army, you can go out and find a great job, and you're going to be set. So I hope that works. John, I appreciate the call. Have a great day. Let's do this, and then we're going to switch it up a little bit, because why not? It's WTMJ.
Get to and from every home game in Green Bay this football season safely. Milwaukee Brat House, Jack's American Pub, and Wanakee Golf Course all offer transportation on game days. They've got bus services with private restrooms and all-you-can-drink packages. Book your round-trip ride from any of these locations and get complimentary access to an all-you-can-eat and drink tailgate at the bar on Holmgren Way. Make your reservations now. There's still room for the October 29th and November 5th games. Visit MilwaukeeBratHouse.com to book your trip today.
October is here, and Griffin dealerships have a spectacular deal just for you. We'll change your oil, check your battery and air filter, inspect and rotate your tires, give your car a complete multi-point inspection, all for $129.95. Worried about your AC or heat? We'll check that too, and we'll even replace your wiper blades. Where quality meets the spirit of October. Don't be spooked by car trouble. Let our expert team take care of your vehicles. Visit Griffin for details. Embrace the magic of the Griffin dealerships today.
When a new baby is added to the mix, saving money becomes a real priority. Shopping at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores can help. With an abundance of baby clothing and toys, all thrift store priced at pennies on the dollar. You'll spend a little to get a lot. Find great deals on gently used baby clothes and toys at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield and 23rd and Lincoln in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Are you looking for the perfect restaurant for your next night out? Then make Aria, the acclaimed restaurant inside St. Kate, your next dinner destination. Specializing in artisanal American cuisine, Aria features carefully prepared seasonal entrees along with a robust selection of craft cocktails, wine, and local beer. Join them on Sundays for the restaurant's famous trademark chicken, served family style with sides like mashed potatoes, goat cheese biscuits, and more. Make your plans today to dine at Aria. Learn more and make reservations at aria@stkate.com. That's aria@stkate.com.
It is Brian Noonan in for Jeff Wagner. WTMJ, you want to get involved in the program? I'd love to have you. 855-616-1620. That, of course, is the Old National Bank Talk Text line. Old National Bank, get old. Oh, boy. The legislature is trying to figure out if there should be public funding for a new stadium or renovations for AmFam Field. This headline cracked me up. In the Journal-Sentinel, it said, maintenance wasn't the issue when the stadium tax was approved. Now it drives a debate. Which means that nobody thought about maintenance. It's like buying a house and never thinking you're going to have to put on a new roof or redo your bathroom or tuck point your bricks. Maintenance, that'll all come later. So they're debating over a $546 million spending plan. And we can talk about the breakdown, but I know, Jeff, I know everybody, and I've talked about it at nights. We've all talked about this, but do you look at this kind of thing and say, well, this is why a lot of things with the government and with bureaucracies don't make sense? Because you're not going to make a purchase where you don't think of the long-term costs. If you've ever signed a mortgage, you know the most frightening part of that process is when you look at the line that says how much you're going to end up paying when your mortgage is done. You've got your principal, you've got your interest, and say your house costs $250,000. At the end of your mortgage, you've paid like $600,000. But I guess when they were debating this in 1995 about building the stadium, they didn't really think about the long-term costs. Whether it's a new field, whether it's, now we're talking about the glass and the outfield bleachers, putting in some sky boxes, fixing the retractable roof, all things that somebody should have thought about, because you'd think about them. I'd think about them, but they're not. So now we're debating. Now the legislature has to debate. Back in 95, most of you will remember, the big debate wasn't about, like I said, the maintenance. It was about a 0.1% sales tax to cover most of the construction costs of Miller Park. The tax raised more than $600 million. It ended in 2020. So that was great. Now the legislature is debating this giant spending plan, $546 million. They're trying to divvy it up between everybody, right? So the Brewers are going to have to pay $1 million or $100 million. They'd write that check today. Have to pay $100 million over time. The state is going to pay $411 million over 30 years. But then the point that's causing a lot of people some consternation is Milwaukee County and the city of Milwaukee are going to be on the hook for $67.5 million each. Now, the state has a budget surplus of $7.1 billion. The city and the county are always struggling for cash. So I don't know where they think this money is going to come from. But there's a lot of debate, and the debate will continue to go on. But where do you fall on this? Do you think, we know the Brewers have said they want to stay in Milwaukee, which would be terrific. But where does the financial well-being of the city and the county fall? And why can't, if the state's gung-ho on this, and I have no problem with, trying to figure out public money. Public money for stadiums is one of those things. We set a precedent for it years ago. We as sports fans and municipalities, and now, we've got to decide: do we keep it? Do we help out? But we can't at the expense of the city and the county. We can't. The state needs to either figure out a way to come up with some more money, or go back to the drawing board and try to come up with another deal. Republican legislators did change the plan. They reduced the county and the city funding, but there's still a lot going on. Still a lot of people trying to get some money. I'm sorry. I was reading a text. Somebody having technical difficulty. So there it is. I don't know. I think if the state has a surplus of $7.1 billion, well, just take $546 million out of that surplus, get it all done, and let's move on. And then the Brewers can focus on making it past the first round of the playoffs and keeping everybody happy. They'll be making money. The city will be making money. The county will be making some money. Everybody's going to be happy. I'm happy. Am I? I'm so happy. You might now. I see Sam smiling, and Sam has some dimples. I have some dimples. TikTok is causing people to try to create dimples. Another thing I do not understand. We'll get into that after this on WTMJ.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Chris and Tim closed their first loan with Accunet $116,000 ago in terms of the median sales price in southeastern Wisconsin. We helped their daughter buy a home earlier this year, and now we're helping them buy their retirement condo. We're told there were 3 offers, 2 cash offers, and Chris and Tim's offer backed up by an Accunet rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval. All 3 offers were probably over the asking price, but we're surmising Chris and Tim's offer was the highest because when the sellers asked the listing broker if they could count on the offer with the pre-approval letter, the answer was simply, Accunet really does their homework. It's not easy to beat a cash offer over the asking price, but that's exactly what Tim and Chris did with some help from their trusted family mortgage lender. If you don't think the lender's name on your pre-approval letter matters, think again. It's still a seller's market in the Badger State, so click on the blue button at Accunet.com today to get started with your rock-solid, guaranteed pre-approval. That's ACCUNET.com.
Give yourself the gift of beautiful, long-lasting furniture this holiday season. Our pre-holiday sale at Ken Michaels Furniture will ensure that your pieces arrive before the holidays. We're offering 35% off Amish hardwood dining sets in your choice of wood, shape, and finish. Create a holiday table that's ready for your teenager's Instagram. If you order now, you can have the furniture of your dreams by Christmas. Stop in today at Ken Michaels Furniture on Capitol Drive in Brookfield and Highway 100 in Greenfield. Hosting this holiday season? Get your home dressed to impress. Ken Michaels Furniture is having a pre-holiday sale to get your new furniture to you in time. We carry thousands of fabrics, leathers, and wood finishes so you can create a look that's as unique as you are. Order now and wow your holiday guests with personalized furniture. With discounts starting at 30%, you can't beat these deals. Stop in today at Ken Michaels Furniture on Capitol Drive in Brookfield and Highway 100 in Greenfield.
The next time you're due for service, visit richlands.com to schedule an appointment at any of our 5 conveniently located facilities.
All AAA approved and all staffed by ASE certified technicians ready to serve you.
Richlands. My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-737-9944. That's 1-800-737-9944. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-737-9944. That's 1-800-737-9944.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Noonan in for Jeff Wagner on 720 or 620 or 820 or 920. There's a lot of numbers here. I'm looking at the clock. I can't read and think at the same time. That's craziness. All right, we are talking about the Brewers and the debate in the legislature over this $546 million spending plan. A lot of text responses. Let me get to those before we move on, because if you're texting in, and I want to hear part of the deal that was that I mentioned was that in 1995, when the first Miller Park budget went through, nobody thought of long-term maintenance. Rich says, actually, I do think some thought about it and purposely did not bring that up because it could have tipped the decision over and not gotten the stadium, thinking that will just be dealt with later. Yeah, that's how I was going to say irresponsible people, but yeah, I'm going to stick with irresponsible people, because it's the ostrich syndrome. I know these costs are coming, but if I put my head in the sand, I'm not going to hear about them or see them. And then when they show up, I probably won't be around. Or if I am, I could just throw my hands in the air and go, I just forgot about that. You mean there's going to have to be upkeep on a stadium? Parking lots crack here in the Midwest where there's snow and ice? Fields need to be redone, all that kind of stuff. Somebody asked a question. I will have to check this. They say, who pays for Lambeau and Fiserv maintenance and repairs? I'll have to check into that. From the 920, that new tax that the city and county just put in place wouldn't make them more money off the sales at the stadium? You would think it would. From Peter, with all the public resistance to paying for AmFab Field maintenance, I'm quite disappointed that local media seems intent on not clearly reporting that since 2016, everyone eating in restaurants in Milwaukee County or getting takeout food, buying snack food, blah, 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 has been paying and will continue to pay without sunset an extra 0.5% sales tax for Fiserv Forum and the Convention Center. I think when that tax went into, I remember talking about it a lot when that tax was going into effect. So, it's the mainstream media, Sam. What are we going to do? I don't know. Those mainstream media people, I can't stand them. Wait a minute. Never mind. Okay, forget that. Scratch that. That comment is ridiculous. Jim in Fond du Lac says, when polls are taken regarding the stadium, almost 0% of people understand that the Brewers do not own the stadium. The stadium district owns the stadium, and the Brewers lease it from the stadium district. It's not up to the quote-unquote billionaire owners to maintain a stadium they don't own. All right, there you go. Let's do that because, Sam, you know me. You know I try to maintain my thumb on the pulse of young people. I want to know what's going on. My daughter's 27. She's a young people. I try to, I want to be able to relate to her. I want to come in, and I'm surrounded by young people here, which is great. But sometimes young people baffle me, and I don't want to be that guy standing on my lawn shaking my fist, yelling at you kids to get out of here. But sometimes that's exactly what I want to do. And when I read that people are using dimple makers and it's going viral on TikTok, I don't think I'm crazy to shake my head and say, what's going on with you people? What are you up to? Now it appears that the dimples are the thing. And everybody wants dimples. I don't know. I think I don't think I don't have dimples. I know some people with dimples. Most people I know don't have dimples. Who needs dimples? But if you're on TikTok, you got to have dimples. And if you had the over-under on how many times I was going to say dimples, you should have bet the over. So the dimple maker is a cherry-shaped device with a curved wire sporting marble-like balls on each end. All you have to do, Sam, if you want to go home tonight and work on your dimples, is this according to people on TikTok. And please, if you're taking medical or cosmetic surgery advice from TikTok, maybe you need to lay down with a cool compress because you're not making the best life decisions. But you pry the device open and slip it onto your cheek as the balls clamp the inner and outer sides together. Now, I'm watching a woman do this, and this woman's face prior to putting on this medieval torture device, I would say it looks fine to me. And that's not sexist. I'm just looking at her and, aesthetically, she she looks fine, you know. I would not see this woman on the street and recoil in terror because of her lack of dimples. But I'm a simple man with simple needs. So, the hashtag DimpleMaker has over 60 million views on TikTok. Devices are springing up on Etsy, no pun intended, and other shops for about $15. That seems like a good investment. That's cheap at twice the price if you're looking for dimples. They're relatively safe and are a less invasive alternative to a dimpleplasty, which is, pardon me, the surgical removal of a muscle inside the cheek to create dimples. I have no words for dimpleplasty. So experts say it still poses risks, such as permanent nerve damage and scarring. Yes, but you have dimples. Come on. There's no free lunch. No, you got to give something to get something. You want your face all paralyzed, but don't I look pretty because I have dimples? Well, sure, except that the right side droops down like a basset hound. But other than that, you look fantastic. I'm really glad you went through this procedure. Good for you. Now I'm going to leave and go. A doctor said you have to be careful with home remedies and fads because nobody's counseling you about the complications. Yeah. You especially have to be careful of anything on the face that's not reversible. I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but what is lacking in people's lives? You know, most people, I would love to be one of the people who can look in the mirror and think I'm just perfect. I am not. Greg Matzik may be one of those people, but I am not one of those people. But to look in the mirror and say, I have to drastically alter my face not because maybe you had, an injury and you have a scar and you want to get that taken care of, or your nose. I know people, some with the nose, that makes more sense. But something like this where you could do permanent damage is completely ridiculous. But I didn't know. Had you ever heard of this, Sam? You could just, no. Sam hadn't heard of the dimples. And Sam's a young person. See? So
I'm grandma on the inside, though. It's okay.
Are you?
I am.
And see, that surprises me because you don't look like my grandma. You're about the same height as my grandma was, but that's where the similarity ends. So I'm a little shocked at your grandma admission, but I respect it 100%. If you wear your dimple makers too tight or for too long, they could potentially restrict blood flow to the spot on the cheek that's being compressed. That's the other thing. These don't look like dimples. They look like somebody shot your face with a BB on each side and it got embedded in there. And then somebody had to pop it out with a melon baller. It doesn't look natural, which, if we're honest, a lot of these procedures that people get to look more youthful or natural make you look like a creepy doll that should be on the shelf in an antique store. It doesn't make you look like a person. I don't know how to make us love ourselves more. I told somebody today, hey, man, maybe just embrace sloth. If you keep getting hurt all the time because you're doing all these activities, just embrace sloth. And then everything will be lovely. I'm going to do that now because I'm going to put my head down while we take care of a little business here on WTMJ.
Stay in touch. You can reach us on the Old National Bank talk and text line at 855-616-1620. Old National Bank. Get old.
Poor Jack Skellington. It can get terribly boring being the Pumpkin King. But what if he could take over Christmas? Now that would be something spooktacular. Come and experience all of the mad merry mayhem that ensues when the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra performs The Nightmare Before Christmas live to film October 28th and 29th at the Bradley Symphony Center. Conductor Nicholas Buck will lead the MSO in Danny Elfman's macabre masterpiece of a score as Tim Burton's beloved stop-motion musical plays on the big screen. Are Christmas and Santa Claus doomed? Find out when you come to The Nightmare Before Christmas live to film with the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra. Tickets are selling fast, so call now for yours, 414-291-7605 or online at mso.org.
Siding Unlimited, named the best window installers not just here, but in the whole USA. Get the best. Siding Unlimited, 3-time winner as America's best window installer. For windows, you call Siding Unlimited first and directly. SidingUnlimited.com.
If you can't get a good night's sleep, let me ask you, are you breathing well? Because if you're snoring or waking up each night with a stuffed up nose, or frustrated with your CPAP mask, the root of your sleep problem lies in your breathing triangle. And if any one of those passages isn't working, you won't sleep well. And there's no mattress, pill, or other gimmick that can fix that. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. A recipe for a good night's sleep starts with an open airway. Now, there are devices that can help solve snoring or sleep apnea problems. If you walk into a sleep center, know you'll walk out with a CPAP. And you might find other options elsewhere, but the simple truth is, if your nose doesn't work properly, no device will help. Only at Advent will you find every effective snoring and sleep apnea solution, along with a world-class team that can get your nose working properly again.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
I know. Mondays and Tuesdays can be a challenge. John Burke here from WTMJ here. Brighten up your day with a free dinner at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club. With the fall colors here, now is the time to experience the Fox and Hounds near beautiful Holy Hill. Enjoy your favorite steak, seafood, a big pasta dish, a huge fresh salad, even the steak and lobster. Any dinner on the menu, your second one is free. Desserts and ice cream drinks. Buy one, get one free, and I love the desserts. Sip on a delicious Manhattan, enjoy an old-fashioned, bourbon, or select from over 100 fine wines. The Fox and Hounds, tucked into the Kettle Moraine, the setting is stunning. It's just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the famous Holy Hill Shrine. The drive through the colorful Kettle Moraine Forest is breathtaking, a Wisconsin must-see. Escape from your kitchen tonight with a free dinner at the Fox and Hounds, voted the best supper club in the area. Tables are open. Visit foxandhoundsrestaurant.com and relax.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. Your hometown hub for everything that matters. The latest news, traffic, weather, and sports on Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
Good afternoon. 2 o'clock, we have 57 degrees. Sunny, nice today with a high this afternoon of 60. Overnight low tonight, 45. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. There's still no Speaker of the House. Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan is the top Republican nominee, but could not win the first vote. Amanda Renteria, political director for the 2016 Hillary Clinton campaign, with Democratic reaction.
No one's really surprised. The only question is, now what? Are we really going to go back to Jordan again, or are you going to see actually a Republican Party come and look at a different kind of leader?
20 Republicans voted against Jordan. There may be a second vote at some point. The House is now in recess. 16-year-old girl has been arrested in connection with a threat made against Cudahy High School.
The threat on Instagram included a picture of a rifle and a caption indicating a threat to shoot up the high school, which was removed about 30 minutes after it was posted. A coordinated response between authorities and the Cudahy School District led to the 16-year-old's arrest. Police say the individual had a connection to Cudahy High School, but did not reveal whether or not they were a student. The arrest comes one day after Oak Creek High School was evacuated due to a separate threat of still unknown origin. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
A UW systems shakeup. The University of Wisconsin ending in-person instruction at 2 campuses and closing down another.
UW President Jay Rothman made the announcement this morning.
We are closing the UW Platteville Richland campus and ending in-person instruction at UW Milwaukee at Washington County and at UW Oshkosh at Fond du Lac County.
In all, Rothman says about 500 students will be affected. He says the decision was made not because of money, but rather because students were trending toward degrees at their 4-year campuses or online. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Meanwhile, Assembly Speaker Robin Vos says the legislature will withhold pay raises for UW employees until the school system cuts its so-called Department of Equity and Inclusion spending by more than $30 million. Tragedy strikes the Arrowhead High School football program and the community at large. Tom Taraska, who transformed the school's football program into a powerhouse, was killed over the weekend in a car crash. The 71-year-old died after a single vehicle accident at Heartland. During his tenure at Arrowhead, Taraska amassed more than 250 victories and led the team to 4 state championships. He retired in 2010. Police in Brussels shot and killed the man suspected of killing 2 Swedish soccer fans.
Hours after a manhunt began, police in Brussels tracked down and shot dead the suspected gunman, a Tunisian, a weapon also recovered. Belgian Prime Minister Alexander De Croo.
2 Swedish compatriots passed away. A third person is recovering right now from severe injuries.
His thoughts are with the victims' families, and he sent his condolences to the Swedish Prime Minister. Security has now been beefed up in the capital, particularly around places linked to the Swedish community. Tom Rivers, ABC News at the Foreign Desk.
The buildup of Israeli forces continues ahead of an expected ground offensive against Hamas. Israel's imposed a blockade at the Gaza Strip after Hamas's deadly surprise attacks earlier this month. The U.S. and Israel have agreed to a plan to provide humanitarian aid from donor nations to civilians in war-torn Gaza. Former President Trump is back in a New York courtroom for his civil fraud trial today. After arriving at the courthouse, Trump again blasted New York Attorney General Letitia James, calling her a radical lunatic, and decried the trial as being rigged. He also argued that the trial should have a jury, saying he's never heard of a trial not having one before. Interactive technology brings a city's progress to life. The city of Racine released Smart City Story Map, an immersive web page that showcases the city's transformation into a smart city. Smart cities are defined by their commitment to innovation and progress through technology and sustainability. Racine received its Smart City designation in 2019, becoming the smallest city to win this award and the first smart city in Wisconsin. Racine Mayor Corey Mason says the new webpage helps residents understand the work being done to adapt the city for the 21st century, saying this will help us amplify all the great initiatives we're focused on while connecting residents with our rich and innovative past. You can find the link on our website, WTMJ.com. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is down 107 points. S&P 500 is down 16, and the Nasdaq Composite is down 77. Annex Ignite, Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client. They'll meet you where you're at. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Sighting Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 2:04.
You can find affordable holiday decor at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. Find cute Christmas decorations, ornaments, trees, and home decor, all at thrift store prices. Gift cards are also available for that shopper on your Christmas list. You'll never overspend on holiday items from St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield and 23rd in Lincoln in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, a group of doctors I trusted with my knee surgery. The pain was real and options were important. My experience with each doctor was thorough, the appointments were timely, always close and easy access to the building. My mom felt the same way, I know, when she went there for her physical therapy appointments at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. I trusted their surgical team for my knee surgery, and I know they'll take care of you the way they did my mom and me. Make an appointment at orthowisconsin.com.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats. Now through Wednesday, save on 40-ounce selected varieties Crisco oil, $4.99. 15 to 24-ounce selected varieties Bertolli pasta sauce, 2 for $6. 4 to 7-ounce selected varieties Jimmy Dean breakfast sandwiches, 2 for $5. 32-ounce bottles selected varieties Dunkin' or International Delight Creamer, 2 for $7.
Let's see, spices, cardamom, hibiscus powder. It's like looking at Green Bay's roster right now. I don't recognize it, but I'll learn to love it.
Attention Century shoppers. You're going to love this opportunity. Win 2 tickets to see Green Bay play Kansas City on December 3rd, autographed Packers footballs, or 4 packs of Hall of Fame tickets.
I'd love to see Green Bay's new QB in action and win those tickets. What do I do?
Find the weekly code on Century's Facebook or Instagram and enter to win.
Love it. Getting the Century code on Insta right now.
Ends November 14th.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update.
Milwaukee Bucks are back in preseason action tonight after beating the Lakers in L.A. on Sunday. Giannis and the Bucks will be in Oklahoma City tonight to take on the Thunder. Coverage of tonight's game will begin right here on WTMJ beginning at 6 p.m. The Packers hit the practice field on Monday for the first time following their bye week and got some good news. Running back Aaron Jones, who missed the Week 5 matchup in Las Vegas with the hamstring injury, he returned to the field as a full participant. And lastly, over to Major League Baseball, where the Texas Rangers take a 2-0 lead after winning Game 2 by a final score of 5-4 in Houston. And the Philadelphia Phillies taking Game 1 of the NLCS over the Arizona Diamondbacks by a final score of 5-3. I'm Brandon Snide, WTMJ Sports.
Taking a look at your roads with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. No delays to report this hour. Looks like pretty typical drive times. 94 from the Zoo to Highway 16 is going to be about 10 minutes. 4145 northbound from the Zoo interchange to Highway Q. That looks like it's going to be about 14 minutes. And 94 southbound from the Marquette interchange to Layton Avenue, running about 12 minutes this afternoon.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Veterans benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Brave Americans who served shouldn't be denied benefits or have a disability claim incorrectly evaluated by the VA. If you're one of those vets, call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast, sunny, nice today with a high of 60 and an overnight low tonight of 45. Increasing cloudiness, maybe some scattered showers later on tomorrow. High of 64. Mostly cloudy Thursday, showers likely, high 60. Partly cloudy, breezy Friday, high 57. A chance of showers early on Saturday. Partly cloudy and breezy with a high of 54. Madison right now 56, Green Bay 53, Milwaukee 57. I'm Connie Weber, Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 2:08.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue, it's the Jeff Wagner Show. Come join the conversation on the Old National Bank talk and text line at 855-616-1620. Old National Bank. Now in for Jeff, here is Brian Noonan.
Hour 3 of the big broadcast. Glad you are here. Still no word. The House of Representatives still on recess after the first vote for Speaker of the House failed to go Jim Jordan's way. They are planning on a second Speaker vote today, according to Jim Jordan's spokesman, that he is still going to put himself up for another vote, so we will see what happens. A lot of disarray in the House of Representatives, but we'll keep our eye on it and let you know as anything develops. Is there a food that you feel you are addicted to? And I don't use the term lightly because addiction is a serious thing, and there can be an addiction to food. Is there something that once you start eating it, and listen, I'm not trying to make this overly serious, but is there something that you know in your heart, if you stop eating or start eating it, you're not going to stop till it's all gone, which is the sign of an addict, whether it's alcoholism or drugs or gambling, you're going to go till you can't go anymore. The reason I ask this is because a new study came out today, a study that says ice cream and potato chips are as addictive as cocaine. A lot cheaper, thank goodness. But that's, they say it's because of, what do you think? The sugar. I will confess to the fact that I truly believe I am addicted to sugar. For me not to eat candy or cookies or something, I have to go cold turkey. I can't have it in the house. I can't have one because, this is a horrible couple weeks in my house because the Halloween candy is coming in. And we bought our big bags of Halloween candy for the trick-or-treaters at Costco, and I put them up in the closet. So I know they're there, but they haven't been opened yet. So I can white knuckle it and not go into the closet and open it. My wife, however, has bypassed that system and picked up some smaller bags that were on sale at the grocery store. So technically we're not eating the trick-or-treaters candy, but there's candy there. Well, that would be fine if I didn't have this chocolate monkey on my back who is in my ear constantly going, it's one little Snickers bar. Oh, it's just one little Reese's cup. It's one little Nestle's Crunch. And sure, it's one. And then as soon as I have one, and maybe you're like this, maybe I know for me, there is a physical response when I have one piece of candy. And I'm not saying this for comedic effect. It is true. I need more. Like if we had a bowl of M&Ms here, if it was one of those 6-pound bags of M&Ms, it would be gone. I would eat it until, I'm like a dog, I would eat it till I got sick because I can't just take a handful of it. I got to have more. Now, I don't have that really with any other thing in my life, thankfully. But with sugar, I do, and that's the problem. 14% of Americans are susceptible to sugar addiction. All right, so I'm not alone. But the other 86% of you better not shame me or my brethren in the sugar addiction thing. So sugar is the thing. The criteria for addiction to these foods includes uncontrollable and excessive consumption, intense cravings, and a relentless cycle of intake. Wow, when you put it that way, it sounds really sad, doesn't it? I am on a relentless cycle of intake. What do you mean? I mean, I just hoovered down 12 pounds of peanut M&Ms. That's what I mean. I am out of control. I am powerless against these candies. John in Burlington says it's ice cream. Ice cream for him. I love ice cream too. Oh, I love it all. I love it all. If it has sugar, if you take liver and onions and just cover it with sugar, I'm down. I'm 100% in. Dr. Daniel Bober, he's an addiction physician, said that both sugar and addictive substances such as cocaine engage the same part of the brain associated with the reward system. So, Sam, the stickers might help me. If you get me the stickers, now that was a bonus for people who were listening all the way back when I talked to Steve Scafidi and Carol Kane at about 11:50. Those stickers might be enough. They won't be unless they're covered in chocolate. But it would be a start. So the hint of lime Tostitos from the 920. Oh, you just go through the big restaurant-sized bag with the hint of lime Tostitos. That's because they've got that sugar, even though it's a salty treat. There's enough sugar in there. That's what they're saying, just like a potato chip. So we get the dopamine. We get dopamine when we eat this because it affects our brains. It lets that reward center out, and all of a sudden we're all jacked up and we're feeling good, and we want to keep that feeling going. What really makes this dangerous is this addiction we have to ultra-processed foods, said the doctor. Foods that contain chemicals, emulsifiers, artificial colors. Stop being a buzzkill. They also contain refined sugars and just the right amount of salt, sugar, and fat to be highly reinforced, which can lead some people to engage in compulsive eating. Don't tell me you haven't eyed that box of Girl Scout Thin Mints and thought to yourself, I can put this thing away. There's not a chance anybody can stop me. I'm going whole hog on this. The larger issue is how to categorize these foods with their addictive qualities and potential harm on par with illegal substances such as cocaine or heroin. Let's not overreact. Can we pull back just a little? Like, I don't want to be on my way home with a package of Oreos and all of a sudden have, the sugar police come up and slam me on the hood of my car and take away my cookies. So let's not put the. I know it's serious if people are eating too much sugar. I get it, but I'm also not going to. I'm not going to rob Sam at gunpoint because I have a cookie. I need a cookie fix. You're lucky, Sam. I'm not. Somebody else though. Charlie, I'm wrestling him to the ground. If I got to get that bag of cookies, he's going down. I can't. They're going down. I can't stop it. I'm not. They have no hope. No hope at all. He also touched on the culture where instant gratification and compulsive behavior to cope with negative feelings are becoming more prevalent. Since when? It's always been that way. We want to hit, and we want to hit it fast. So many inappropriate jokes. Whether it's from cocaine, food, shopping, it all has one thing in common, and that is using compulsive behavior to deal with uncomfortable feelings like loneliness, isolation, depression. It's something that we need to look at because it's part of our culture. Yes, but sugar is so tasty. We don't think of sugar as being that kind of addictive chemical, even though it really is. An old friend once said, it's not the first cookie that's the problem, it's the 27th. That is correct. Michael texted that in. What are you addicted to? Are you buying this, that sugar is the new cocaine or heroin? If you're looking in your wallet, you're probably hoping it's true. Join us, 855-616-1620. That's the Old National Bank Talk text line. Is Brian Noonan in for Jeff Wagner, WTMJ.
Your way inside the huddle. Hit one, hit two, without putting on any pads. It's Green and Gold Insiders on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
No one's going to feel sorry for you, Matt LaFleur likes to tell us that all the time. No one's going to say, oh, well, these poor guys, they have all these rookies. We're going to take it easy on them. Nobody's going to do that.
Every day of the regular season at 4:15, it's Green and Gold Insiders all season long, right here on WTMJ.
What's the way to build your wealth?
If you want to be sure that you're getting financial planning advice you can trust, work with a fiduciary. A fiduciary should be someone who acts as a steward for you. It means they treat your assets as if they were their own, that they protect them as if they were their own, and that they try to grow them as if they were their own. Now you can take this for what it's worth, but I'm doing all I can to run a firm you can trust. That's why we're a fee-only, comprehensive financial planning firm that doesn't work for anyone but our clients and focuses only on their best interest. By being a steward, being a fiduciary to help our clients reach their financial goals. I'm Jim Cantrell, and I believe we can show you a wiser way to build your wealth. So go to financialstrategiesinc.com and schedule a no-cost consultation.
Financial strategies, but what's the way to build your wealth?
I'm Randy Miller. In 1969, my Uncle Lou started a roofing and siding business called All Right. That company joined NARI, the National Association Remodeling Industry. 50 years later, I'm proud to be at the helm of both All Right and NARI Milwaukee as president. Integrity, ethics, and high standards build a legacy both in business and in life. I learned this from my Uncle Lou and the NARI leaders before me. Learn more at allrite.remodeling.com/NARI.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Greg Scalzo for Smart Spaces. How can Smart Spaces transform your business?
The technology frustrations we hear about, hands down, ease of use.
We take that complexity out of it and keep it down to the bare minimum of what they need and what they use.
Our goal is to lend a level of simplicity that any knowledge level can walk into that room and at a glance know exactly how to turn that room on and utilize all of its features.
Let Smart Spaces transform your business today. Visit smartspaceswi.com.
Brian Noonan in for Jeff Wagner. A lot of responses. A lot of us are addicted to things. I don't know if you believed the study that we were just talking about that says sugar is the new heroin and cocaine. It is as addictive as those two substances. I know that I am one of the 14% of Americans that are susceptible to sugar addiction. When there was a point where I was losing a lot of weight and I could not have anything sweet in the house. I can give up pretty much anything. Cold turkey, I will white knuckle it through, but sugar, I know, is that thing where I cannot have one, or I'm having it all. Let's see, from the 414, addicted to pizza. Brian in Sussex says, I have to watch myself when I start eating ice cream. I have to tell myself to stop, otherwise I'll eat it all. Yeah, it's there. You know what cracks me up? The people who get like a pint of Ben and Jerry's or something and eat just a little. I'm just going to have, it says 4 servings, so I'm only going to have a quarter of that pint. Then you're a quitter. If you're not eating the whole thing, I don't know what you're doing. Rob in Jackson, Wyoming is addicted to kombuchas. Mike from the 414, Cheetos. Jim in Fond du Lac says, my wife was climbing the walls. We're trying to lose weight, so I did not buy any ice cream this week. Last night I had to stop at Pick and Save and pick up a piece of tuxedo truffle cake to satisfy her sugar need. If I had not, I would probably have been the victim of a homicide. I laugh at that statement, but I also know that it is true. I've amazed myself in a horrible way. I guess I've shamed myself when that craving for something sweet comes over me, looking through the house, trying to find anything. And Sam, if you judge me, you judge me. I have been known to rip open a bag of chocolate chips and just pour them right down the old gullet.
Oh, definitely. No, if I could gorge myself on the best dinner, and if I don't have a sweet treat in my hands when I am done, I will be so mad. So I'm right there with you.
You must cleanse your palate after a dinner. Chris is going the other way. He's in Cedarburg. Hi, Chris. Or she's in Cedarburg. Hi, Chris.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. So what is the food that you are addicted to?
What our deal is we have a home-style meal.
Okay.
Whether it be steak or pork roast or something. And if you ate properly, you'd be surprised at how you don't want that. However, if like my husband likes maybe vanilla pudding, like the real, like he made pudding or sorbet or something like that. But I can give him candy bars in his lunch, to go to work.
Right.
He eats everything but brings the candy bars back.
I envy that.
It's crazy. But I just think if you fill the need for those, whether it be calories or that protein or something, and then you're not looking. But I understand. But that's just not. I have a candy drawer. No, I mean it's there, but
right.
Nobody. I'm filled with a bunch of stuff, and it's. I think if it's there for you, you don't want it.
See, I know some people like you, Chris. I don't always trust you. I got to be honest. There's something a little bit off, but I respect you. I just don't understand how you do it. Thanks for the call, Chris.
You're a rock star.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Now, I will say that sometimes, now I sound like my mom. How about a little piece of fruit? That's sweet. Yes, in a pinch, but it's not the same. We're getting Snickers, the breakfast of champions. That's coming in from the 414. Diane says, I'm definitely addicted to sweets. In fact, my kitchen motif is donuts, so I can look at them all day. All right, that's over the line. Dar says, sugar is not a new addictive. It always was. Yes. Ever notice that people who stop drinking love their sweets? That's true. A couple of my brothers stopped drinking, and they do enjoy sweets quite a bit, but that's nothing new in our family. So I couldn't be like, boy, look at those two weirdos. No, they're like, now they're battling me for the sweets. Have you ever been able to eat just 5 or 10 Pringles chips? You usually go through a whole container of those things. That's from Rick in Norway, yes. Popcorn, orange mint lifesavers, unbelievably addicting. I do that with the peppermint lifesavers. I could just keep going, like tossing them in and gnawing on them like a rat because I don't let them dissolve. I just chew on them, trying to get the sparks. They say sometimes with those wintergreens and stuff, if you bite them, you get sparks coming out of your mouth. Sam, listen, you learn something new every day here at WTMJ. We're edutainment. This is we're not just talking about the big issues. We're talking about sparks shooting out of your mouth. Scott from Appleton, Uncle Mike's sea salt and caramel Kringle. Oh, that sounds good. All right, that sounds good. We got to stop talking about this because we still have a half hour to go in the show, and I'm looking out at the food court going, hey, what's out there? There might be some sweet treats out there. From the 920, I can go throughout the day, but at night before bed, my sweet tooth really kicks in. Yeah, I can do that too. But then there's that point, like you said, Sam, after dinner, you're sitting there, and it's like, even if I've had an apple or some grapes or something after dinner, I'm like, no, I need something. You know what's good? Here's what I found. They're 100 calorie. They're fudgesicles. They're this nature's bed. They're organic fudgesicles. You get them in a giant box at Costco, and it's 100 calorie, but it tastes just like a real fudgesicle. So I'm like, ooh, that satisfies the craving, and yet I can convince myself that it's healthy because it's only 100 calories, and I can do the math: 100 plus 100 plus 100 plus 100. I can do that kind of math. All right, we're going to do some math while we do some business on WTMJ.
Radio Guy Emeritus Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. Enjoy summer while it lasts, folks, because you know it's coming down the pike. Cold weather and high heating bills. It's not too soon to start thinking about new windows and doors from Hometown. They have options that fit every home, every style, and every budget, even yours. Their huge New Berlin showroom has the area's largest display of replacement windows, doors, and patio doors from national brands like Anderson, Pella, Marvin, Softline, and more. In wood, Fibrix, fiberglass, and vinyl, with scads of features including, wonder of wonders, blinds inside the glass. What's more, Hometown offers you dedicated project consultants with products installed by Hometown's own employee carpenters. Stop in today or call 414-329-1200 or go to hometownwindows.com. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need.
Hey, it's 620 WTMJ's Brian D. You know what time of year it is. Snacks around Halloween. Lots of family photos through the holidays. Make sure those pearly whites are looking pearly and white. Go see my guy, Dr. James Michaels at Oconomowoc Dental Care. Whether it's a simple cleaning and exam, a more complex dental procedure, a teeth whitening, or an implant, the team at Oconomowoc Dental Care and Dr. Michaels are going to take great care of you, just like they've taken great care of me. Centrally located between Milwaukee and Madison, the team at Oconomowoc Dental Care is always going to make you as comfortable as possible while you're in the chair and give both you and your family an amazing smile. At Oconomowoc Dental Care, affordable quality dentistry is no longer a dream, it's the reality. Dr. Michael's fantastic and friendly staff can help you out with a no-interest payment plan. We all have to go to the dentist, so don't wait any longer. Go see my guy, Dr. James Michaels at Oconomowoc Dental Care. Call his friendly and caring staff today and make an appointment with my guy, Dr. Michaels.
It's Brian Noonan in for Jeff Wagner. You want to get involved in the program? We'd love to have you. 855-616-1620. That is the Old National Bank talk and text line. Most of us like to sit around and watch a movie, right? You like to, maybe you need a good laugh, so you watch a comedy. Maybe you're feeling like all your emotions are pent up, so you watch a drama or sad movie. It gives you an excuse to, cry a little bit, gives you an excuse to snuggle up with people, or just a chance to kill a couple hours and enjoy yourself. Have you ever thought of movies as therapy? As something that is going to help your mental health? Well, it is becoming more and more of a thing now where people are looking at watching a film as being a therapeutic tool. It's very new. It's not, it's one of these things where you're going to just watch a movie to watch a movie. There's no therapy. But come on. There's certain movies you watch and they make you feel good. They will increase your serotonin. They'll just boost your mood. And then there's other ones that I'm going to watch this movie and it's going to make me a little sad. And that's okay, because right now maybe I'm a little bit sad anyway, and so I want to be able to just unleash my emotions. So a film engages people emotionally, according to this, in ways that can be very therapeutic. Talking about movie characters can feel more comfortable than discussing issues directly, as it gives a person some emotional distance from what they're going through. Sure, my wife and I also always talk about Lilo and Stitch instead of our real problems. That Stitch, he's just a wild man. He doesn't know what he's doing. And my wife will go, sound familiar? And I'll go, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Film therapy reduced conflict between parents and teenagers. It increased empathy and dialogue between them and helped improve communication skills. So my question for you is, has there been a movie that fits this bill for you? Is there a movie that you've watched and maybe it helped spur a conversation with somebody in your family or someone you're in a relationship with? Or you noticed, boy, anytime I watch this movie, I feel blank, and it helps. Because this is an interesting thing. To be honest, when I watch a movie, it's just because I have an interest in the movie. I don't think about the therapeutic properties of that film until after, when I go, there've been a couple where, and I know you've had this too, you watch a movie and then you feel like you took a gut punch. And maybe that was not the mood you were going for that night, but because of that movie, that's what happened. So then you got to go eat some cookies to get that dopamine kicked in, and it's a whole vicious circle. Film therapy was also shown to be particularly beneficial to certain groups of people. For example, research showed film therapy can help young autistic people identify their positive strengths and build resilience. It can also help psychiatric patients express their thoughts and feelings. Another study also found that watching and discussing superhero movies allowed young people diagnosed with schizophrenia to find strength and meaning in the difficulties that they face. So research is just beginning in this field. It's going to be important for continued research to explore how people engage with movies to support their well-being. So how do the movies help? Well, we'll get into that and so much more after this on WTMJ.
It's David Nason from WTMJ's The Fix-It Show, here with Chris Mancuso, owner of Accurate Basement Repair. Hi, Chris.
Hey, David. Courage, honor, and integrity. That is what I brought over to Accurate Basement Repair Team following my 25 years of proud service as a Milwaukee firefighter. This is the same foundation that Accurate is built on.
As a home inspector, I trust Accurate Basement Repair for all your basement and waterproofing needs. They're not just good, they're accurate. Learn more at AccurateBasementRepair.com.
Hey, Sandy Max here. I've been telling you all summer about my friends at 3 Pillars, Wisconsin's top-rated continuing care retirement community located in beautiful Dousman. 3 Pillars is offering a free CNA training program for adults 18 and over starting November 6th. You get $15 an hour during training, then $21 an hour after successful completion of the course. It's a great entry into an unbelievable career, making a huge difference in the lives of others. Find out how you can learn from and work with the best in Wisconsin at 3pillars.org. That's 3pillars.org.
When you see our selection of gently worn brand name girls and women's clothing, you'll love what you find, and you'll love the prices. So low that you won't believe your eyes. At St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, you'll find something cute, maybe a whole new outfit for so much less. Gently worn brand name clothing at far below retail. You're gonna love it. On Highway 100 at Layton and Greenfield, and 23rd and Lincoln in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul.
Do the changing seasons have you dreaming of that perfect sun-kissed getaway? From the Caribbean and Mexico to Hawaii or Florida, Fox World Travel's expert travel advisors can recommend their favorite beach resorts with Delta Vacations or island hopping cruises with Holland America and Celebrity Cruises. What are you waiting for? Don't miss out on the best savings of the season. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO. There are memories to be made, and Fox has the expertise to get you there.
Brian Noonan in for Jeff Wagner. Movies as therapy. It's a new study. More research is being done on it, but it seems that movies are able to help a number of different groups of people connect either with themselves or with other people. And I asked you, what movies have you watched that made you feel connected either with somebody in your family, somebody in your relationship with? You found that it helped your mood. It gave you the emotional, gives you the emotional release that maybe you need. The 262 says Lethal Weapon. Okay. 414. Sam found that one extremely. Maybe my emotional release is I have to blow up terrorists. Sam, maybe that's what I'm all pent up, and I've got to get that out. And maybe sometimes I also feel like Danny Glover, and I'm too old for this, stuff. So that's it. From the 920, they say a Groundhog Day is one of the best. That allows you to feel good, or maybe look inward and go, boy, is my life? Am I just on one of those rat wheels and just keep a hamster wheel and just keep going around and repeating? And where did I make the mistake? And what would I do? Boy, this is getting too heavy for Groundhog's Day. But how can movies help? Well, we go all the way back to ancient Greece. Yeah, you didn't think we were going to ancient Greece on this one. But Aristotle noted, I've been, one of the criticisms that people have when they listen to me is he's always quoting Aristotle. Why? What is his fascination with Aristotle. Why does this happen? Well, Aristotle noted that audiences of Greek tragedies seem to go through a beneficial process of emotional purging or catharsis through empathy with the characters. Watching movies and TV works in a similar way, offering a safe space to feel and express emotions without experiencing real-world implications. How many times, don't lie to me, have you cried during one of those phone commercials or one of those pet commercials? Come on, that's catharsis. You're watching these, you're feeling all the feels, as the kids like to say. I don't know if the kids say that, but you know what I'm talking about. Film brings together images, story, metaphor, and music, all of which are shown to have therapeutic benefits. Movies and TV are also accessible and can offer something familiar and easy to talk about as a basis for therapy conversation. Yeah, that's also a very safe conversation with pretty much anybody. Hey, did you watch this movie? What'd you think? Blah, blah, blah. Now, I'm wondering, because one of the movies that I have recorded that I can't wait to watch is John Wick 4. I don't know what that's going to do for me, other than release some pent up aggression when I watch 3 hours of nothing but people being shot. But maybe that's what I need. Maybe that's the escape I need. So I don't go out and become a 3-hour shooter. I watch Keanu do it in a snappy black suit, and everything is fine. I'm just in my house with my dogs, and everything is good. Research shows film therapy can be beneficial. There's been little guidance on how best to use film therapy. So after conducting some interviews, the author developed a method that draws together current research and practice to create a series of steps to do it. The first step of the movie method involves a mindful check to consider how you're feeling. It's a lot of work. Who wants to be that self-analytical? Not me. Anyway, after watching the movie, voice or name any emotions you're feeling. Writing these down can be useful. I get it. All right, if you're using it for therapy, that's fine. If you're just sitting at your house watching something on HBO, you may have gone over the edge. You don't need to take notes. Identify what the movie means to you. Notice who you identify with and how the character's journey might remind you of your own. The next time you sit down to watch a movie, think about how you can make the most of the experience. Applying film therapy methods may help you engage more mindfully with what you're watching and may help you learn new things about yourself. All right, I'll do that when I watch John Wick 4, and I'll bring you in my notes. I don't know who I'm going to identify with the most. Could be the dog. Could be somebody else. All right. But that is that. Jeff says, I get some pleasure when I watch movies that deceased family members and friends and I have enjoyed together, but I generally don't take specific advice from the movies. For example, although my mom and I enjoyed My Cousin Vinny about 5 months ago, I don't talk to my work colleagues like Joe Pesci does in that movie. Well, I would hope not. When my son was young, we watched Secondhand Lions with my mom and dad. To this day, every time my son watches it, he remembers his grandpa and so fondly, and grandmother. So see, that's what we're talking about. The way that a film, like I remember, there's certain movies like The Sting. My mom and dad took me to see The Sting when it first came out, and so anytime I see The Sting on TV, I can recall that experience of going to the theater with my mom and dad. And then there were a couple movies that just my dad and I went to see, Semi-Tough and a couple other ones, and we didn't do that very often at all. So those movies for me, while maybe not the best cinematic creations ever, I don't think they won any big awards. They evoke those emotions in me, that reminiscence, that history of my life, and it's it can be nice. So I don't know. It's worth thinking about. It's worth looking into more to see if that therapy really helps. All right. We spoke about something last hour that I didn't understand with young people, and so I'm glad Sam is here because there are some new rules that I was unaware of, but obviously I've been violating them terribly. There's a good chance you have been violating them too. I will explain after this. WTMJ.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Steve and Ashley heard our radio ads over the years, and when it came time to buy their first home, clicked on the blue button back in June. Senior loan consultant Brad Kramer issued a credit-verified pre-approval the same day and then upgraded to a rock-solid, fully verified and guaranteed pre-approval shortly thereafter. Well, they made a couple offers without success, and then Brad told them about our brand-new property-specific pre-approval letter where we might be able to include those magic words, "No appraisal required." When they wrote their next offer at $30,000 over asking to make sure someone else didn't end up sleeping in their dream home, their updated rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval included the phrase that pays in the eyes and ears of the seller, and that translated to donedeal.com. If you think all mortgage companies and pre-approvals are the same, think again. Go with the local mortgage lender that has the tools and the know-how to help you win and save you money, too. Click on the blue button today at accunet.com.
If you need a place for new home interior ideas, then you have to come talk to us. Our on-staff decorators know furniture, home decor, and a lot more. And they're not only creative, but also very willing to help you make great choices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Stop in often because our inventory changes daily.
Design Exchange.
Previously, it has been gently loved, but here you'll only find very well-conditioned premium home decor items that you likely won't find elsewhere. Distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original art, and other tasteful home decor at a value. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Staples stores provide innovative products and services for small business, remote workers and learners, even teachers and parents. Explore more at your local Staples store.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Brian Noonan in for Jeff Wagner. Wisconsin's Afternoon News coming up in just a little bit. Before we move on to these rules that I am obviously violating, I wanted to answer a text question came in because we were talking about movies and therapy, movie therapy and stuff, and somebody said from the 414, do you really believe that movie makers put certain things in the movie for you to evaluate as you are describing this afternoon? No, I don't believe that the filmmakers put it in, but I do believe that we all experience films in a different way. So when the author of this piece said, you know, if you're watching a movie, listen, I know there's movies that we all mindfully watch or mindlessly watch that we don't care. Like anytime The Other Guys is on, I know I'm just going to laugh. I don't care. I'm not evaluating my feelings. I'm not using it for that. But we can look at how we feel during the movie, or, you know, if you want to, you can think, well, who did I really admire in this movie? What character did I feel I was most like, or what feelings do I have now that this movie's over? So to answer the question, no, the filmmakers aren't putting it in, but because we all come to things differently and with different mindsets, we are all going to be affected a different way. I can watch a movie and find it hilarious. For example, Bad Santa. I love Bad Santa. My wife and daughter despise Bad Santa. Now, are they wrong? Yes. But, am I wrong? No, of course not. So that's why I think this movie therapy may have some legs, but it'll take a little more time to for the research to pan out. All right. I admit to sometimes not being cutting edge on certain things. I try to be cutting edge on a lot of things, and I try to know what exactly is going on, but I'm going to be honest, just like you, some things I will never understand. And I saw this, and I've had this discussion with my daughter, and I've had this discussion with younger friends of mine, and the phone etiquette in 2023, I do not understand. I don't get all the rules. I don't get what all the fuss is about, and I don't know what everybody's so scared of. So when I see I see this story, and I start reading about the new phone etiquette, and I'm like, well, isn't phone etiquette today the same as phone etiquette from before, where somebody calls me, I pick it up and I say hello, and then they talk to me, and I say, nice to hear from you, and I hang up. Or I let it ring and go to voicemail. Well, no, it's not that simple. So for any of us over 25, let me hook you up with some knowledge, because I need this help. And Sam is already laughing. She's like, oh, old man, you probably still have a rotary phone in your house. I do not. I don't even have a landline anymore, Sam. That's right. I am so hip. All I have is one cellular device. I used to have, my last house, I still had a landline. Nobody called it. I knew if somebody was called a landline, they didn't know me. So I was paying for this landline. But what if the power goes out and there's a fire? I keep my phone charged. I'll be able to get 911. It's not a big deal. All right, it's important to note before we drop this knowledge that what works for maybe your family is going to be different than the people you work with or just a friend. So here we go. People who send you DMs or texts, and they use all lowercase letters. I've been yelled at by this before. I've been told by my daughter that I am aggressive in my texting, Sam, because I dare to use punctuation. I put periods and question marks where there should be periods and question marks. So, so now I've been trying consciously not to, and I'm getting the shakes because I look at this no capital letters, no punctuation, and the teacher in my brain is like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. But I send it anyway, and I get responses. So, okay, I'm learning. I'm all right. What I don't get, though, is why punctuation is aggressive. What is it that makes a period at the end of a sentence seem like I'm judging you when I'm saying, I sent you a text today. I can't remember if I put punctuation in it. I said, I'm in the cafe when you get here, period. And there might have been another thing. Or yesterday we sent a couple texts. I hope I didn't trigger you in any way. I hope I was not coming off as aggressive, that you went to HR and held your phone out and go, can you believe this guy? And they went, what? Do you see this question mark? Well, yeah, he was asking you what time you were coming in. That's what I'm talking about.
Punctuation just means you mean business.
I always mean business, Sam. Everybody knows that about me. This is the other thing. Now, to be honest, I get this one. I kind of get because I don't just call people out of the blue anymore. I used to. You just, hey, I got to talk to Sam. Let me give her a call. Oh, no, I can't do that. I know that. Don't worry. Now you have to text before you call. So it seems like an unnecessary step since all of our phones have caller ID. And if your phone rang and you saw my name, you could just hit the button on the side and send me to voicemail. Or you could pick it up if you weren't busy and wanted to talk. But no, I'm supposed to text people now and say, hey, are you free to talk? And then they'll text back, that's none of your business. And so I just send an exclamation point. Yeah, that's how we do it. And then then IRL, we fight like dogs. So I would assume that if somebody doesn't pick up, it's because they're busy, right? But I don't know. That's not it, because some people will just keep calling. All right, so text before you call. There's your rule. This I argue with my daughter nonstop about. And again, she's 27. She calls my phone. She does not leave a voicemail. I see a missed call from my daughter. As a parent, you're always like, oh my God, something happened to my daughter. There is never a voicemail. And I've begged her, please, if you call me, leave me a message. Even if it's just to say, everything's cool, call me back when you can. That's all I need. But no, she won't do that. Sam, you could just shake your head yes or no. Is it ever okay to just FaceTime somebody out of the blue? No. That I would never do. That's intrusive and ridiculous. And because it's just good. But you must always leave a voicemail. FaceTime in public? No, I know that rule. We don't do that. So those are the rules. Hey, this is exciting. We're gonna wrap things up. Then Greg Matzik and Amy Taylor are going to come in. We're going to find out what's happening on Wisconsin's afternoon news. Caroline in Milwaukee wants to know why punctuation is excessive. And Michael sending me a text with about 187 exclamation points, Sam. I feel triggered. I feel threatened. And I'm going to have to stop talking right now on WTMJ.
Be our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
Hi, there is an accident on I-43 northbound.
Call me, Debbie Lazaga, at the hallmazda.com traffic tip line at 414-238-9329.
Hi, Debbie. It's Michael. Just drove through the area of 894 West. There's debris in the roadway.
The drive affects you. Why not be part of it?
I'm sitting here at I-43 north of Silver Spring. It's a parking lot.
Give me a call, 414-238-9329.
At Easy Cater, we get it. Ordering food for work means you have to deal with this.
Client meeting on Tuesday.
Client wants tacos.